we've done quite a few 4x4 shows. You know, they come and they stand up, I'm like, oh, that's really good. You know, that's a 100 series tailgate. Can you do that for my 200? We're like, yeah, we can. You know, how do you feel about taking a grinder to your tailgate? Oh, no, can't do that.
Rhys.
Yes.
Remembered it. Jason.
Yes.
Huracan Fabrication. How are we, gentlemen?
Good.
Cheers for coming down.
Cheers for having us.
Thanks for making the trip up.
Took us a while to get here, but
Yeah. Oh, the traffic.
no, I mean, like, you know,
yeah.
organising, picking dates.
Well, yes, but quick shout out to Virgin as well. Upgraded business class.
Really?
Yeah, that was bloody lovely.
I didn't even think local had business class.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same. It's not your full lie-down bed experience, but, you know, we
come
had the
on.
lounge down in Melbourne and then, you know, up the pointy end of the plane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was nice.
The view was quite lovely from up there.
I don't doubt it. Very nice. Well, how long was the trip? Because you guys are in Victoria.
Yeah, 2 hours from Melbourne to Brisbane.
not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's pretty quick.
Yeah. Not too bad. What else are you doing while you're up here?
Nothing.
Nah, flying
Are
back
you-
tomorrow.
That's it. Just come up to do this.
Just here for you and to see, you know, one of our suppliers, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Now we feel special. Hey? Bloody hell. Better turn it on. Right, cool. So, I mean, you guys have really been ramping up your socials lately. So, for someone would have to be living under a rock not to know what you're doing. But give us a rundown on Huracan Fabrication and what it is that you guys do for anybody that's been again living under a rock.
Go.
We try and build cool shit that no one else does.
Phil, sweet, cool. Well, that was great.
Yeah,
Alice, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Right. So, there we go. He's onto it. Yeah. So, like, I think for the most part, anybody that's only a little bit familiar with you would be the storage boxes for the tailgate.
Tailgate storage, yeah.
Yeah. Is that kind of where it started? Is that
No, it's all started with seat adapter kits.
right? Okay.
So we both had previous lives, full-time jobs, other commitments.
Yep.
We met each other on a dating website.
Right.
And
that went fucking sideways quick. Right.
no, it was an old school 80 series Land Cruiser Forum.
Yeah.
So Rhys had aspirations of fitting a turbo kit into his petrol 80.
Yep.
And I was halfway through buying up the bits to fit a turbo kit into my petrol 80.
Yeah.
And we sort of worked out that we were close.
It was love at first blow off valve.
No blow-off valve. We
No.
want the turkey gobbling.
Oh, there you go. Right. Okay. So that's cool. Right.
And I was running a workshop at the time for another large brand. And we had full access to the workshop after hours. So I said to him, I'll come down, I'll give you a hand.
Right.
Put his in. And then I got a bit of experience because he had the full kit. Was it an ATX? No,
Yeah, AXT, I think.
AXT
Yeah,
kit
crew in
from
Melbourne.
Dandenong.
Yeah.
They sold a complete bolt-in kit.
Right.
Use that term loosely.
Yes.
And it had all the fitting instructions and everything like that I was missing. And it filled in some blanks for me. So
Because you put together a bit of a Bitzer kind of kit, not
yeah. I'd found a smaller turbo and a massive water to air intercooler.
Okay.
Second hand
Yeah.
off Gumtree.
Okay.
I still needed to cobble some bits and pieces together and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And I gave Rhys a hand to install his a couple of nights after work, and
Yeah.
that's how we got to meet each other.
Right. Hey, what were you doing?
I was doing a PhD in environmental toxicology at the time. So I previously worked at Nissan as an apprentice.
Yeah.
Didn't finish that because I didn't enjoy it.
Right.
And left to go back to uni, did the undergraduate. I really enjoyed that, did an honours degree, enjoyed that, went on to a PhD. And then towards the end of that is when this whole turbo situation came around with the Land Cruisers. And so Jace, obviously being a mechanic, running his own workshop, offered to help me out, do the install, which was great. And
That's not true. I charged him $300.
He did. He did charge
It's a fucking cheap install.
But then the way that really links to where Huracan Fabrication started was that after the whole turbo install was finished and everything was working, Jason came across some plans to build his own seat adapter kits somewhere on Facebook. And as part of my studies, I'd been doing laser cutting.
Right.
So he made me a set of brackets. I looked at it and went, oh, fuck, we can make these. So got them laser cut, got them powder coated, started selling them on Facebook. Then you get the messages, can you do it for my 60? Can you do it for my 70? Can you do it for my 100? And we just did one thing at a time until it was, the big leap was when Jason quit Petters full time. You know, he's got a wife and a mortgage and a family, and I was a bit nervous because I was just a student finishing up after uni.
Yeah.
But yeah, went full time, and it's just been one thing after another from there. The next thing was tailgate storage, like what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Started that on my own car, which was an Amarok, and then did it for Rangers and just went to everything after that.
Right. So, okay, 80 series to Amarok, and then. So I guess that's one of the good things with the laser cut stuff, because once you've done it, it's pretty well just copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
To
Cool.
scale. Yep. You want 10, 100, 1,000, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea, where did the idea come from though? People have been putting different seats in different cars for forever. Awesome foundation, obviously, for the next step. But the tailgate storage, is that something that you saw and you went, I can make that fucking better? Or like, how did that come about?
Yeah.
So it all started with the 80 series again.
Right.
Because we had them.
Yeah.
And there was a company in the US called Wagon Gear that was making something like that.
Yep.
And by the time you air freighted one out here back then, you wouldn't get much change out of $1,000.
Okay.
And Rhys and I were kicking down some ideas, and we were like, well, what are we going to do next? And I said, well, I want one of these. If I want it, surely there's got to be other people that want it. So we started making the tailgate storage for the 80.
Yep.
And then, that just kicked off. Then we made it for the 100 series. Then we made it for the 60 series. Then we went and did the first Melbourne 4x4 show in, I don't know what year, quite a long time ago.
Or something, yeah.
And, we
21?
had...
Yeah, 2021, I think, was the first show we did.
Was it?
Yeah.
it was
I would have thought it'd be earlier than that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we took one off
Maybe
for COVID.
18.
So, yeah, maybe it was a bit earlier than that.
18,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
And we had a 100 series on display there, and people kept walking up going, can you do that for my Ranger?
Yeah.
Can you do that for this? Can you
Yep.
do that for that?
Yeah.
And we looked at each other and went like, damn, we're getting a lot of inquiries about that. So
Well, I mean, it's it's a pretty specific audience to be in front of. So it's like if you're
Yeah.
going to get the feedback, that's where to get it.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So when because I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there now with a lot of these 3D scanners and stuff like that. But when you were first doing it,
No, we stay away from that shit.
really?
Oh, it fucking does my head in. Don't fucking get me started.
Okay.
What a load of shit. Have you ever used one?
No,
It's fucking pointless.
no, I'm tape measure, pencil, and a rubber.
Stick with that.
Look,
Yeah.
it's good. And if you can pay for a complete scan, they're great. And we
Right.
have used them.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't understand is there's more time editing the file after you've scanned it to make it into something that's usable.
Right.
So if someone just scanned you something and you flick it into the CAD software, it's useless. You can't do anything with it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised, but at the same time, like, I had no fucking idea anyway. So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so we've done it a couple of different ways. We've had people scan stuff and for us, and
Yeah.
we throw it in the CAD software. There's no planes. You can't build off it. It's just like an image that appears. Bolt heads don't look like bolt heads. Like it's really shit.
Okay. So are you more like, I guess now that you've got some base templates, you can probably go in and, I don't know, I'm gonna completely fuck this up, but my thought process would be, you go, okay, this is pretty close to something else. Let's start with that as a base file and modify it.
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
Just look at it, stand back, grab out the angle grinder, and start cutting.
Fair call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay, that works.
With the files that we've gotten from scans, I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
did download those ones that we bought
Yep.
off a commercial website of
Yep.
like an F-150. We were designing a product to go in the tub of that. And that one worked out perfectly because someone had spent a lot of time refining the file and it was very easy to work with. Like you
Right.
see a lot of ads on Facebook and stuff where they're selling some relatively cheap 3D scanner and they make it look like it's wave a magic wand and then you can start editing it
Yeah.
in a CAD software. It's not like that.
Right.
Like Jason said, it's all in the editing afterwards and it's quite expensive to have someone do that for you.
Right, that makes sense. So, all right, so we started with the seat adapters, moved on to the tailgate storage and other, I guess, other storage stuff as well.
Well, the one that we won't do is the 200 series
Okay, why is that?
because their owners are just fucking weird.
Fair enough. Well, okay.
Disclaimer: I own a 200.
Right, okay. So
Look, they're too pedantic.
Okay.
We've done quite a few 4x4 shows. You know,
Yeah.
they come and they stand up, I'm like, oh, that's really good, you know, that's a 100 series tailgate. Yeah. Can you do that for my 200? They're like, yeah, we can, you know. Oh, okay. And then, how do you feel about taking a grinder to your tailgate? Oh, no, can't do that.
Yeah.
And the answer's almost unanimous.
Yeah, because I guess there'd be a lot of DIY kits that you send out.
Oh, it's pretty much everything we do is DIY.
Right.
Yeah. We have a lot of fitting sites around Australia, and any competent full drive workshop can fit any of our products for you.
Yeah.
Having no background knowledge or fitting them previously, that's no issue at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're hardworking fellas too. You know, we came from a modest upbringing, divorced parents, not much money. Everything we've built, designed, made ourselves. That's the basis of how we started.
Yeah.
It was all fucking design it and make it yourself. And,
Yeah.
you know, not this fucking shit where, you know, oh, this is my build and I built it and I just bolted some fucking accessories on. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Look, there's something to be said for the guys that do what I mean. We call it a catalog build.
Yeah.
You know, I'm of that same background as you. I'm for the most part, I just couldn't afford shit. So
Yep.
Yeah, same.
You know,
Yeah,
it was
that's how
like-
it started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like this
Can't
part.
afford it.
Yeah.
Got to make it.
Yeah, this part's $500, and I'm like, well, I can get a welder and that for $1,000. Fuck, I'll do that. You know, it's just, and then it's like but then that opens the door. I was the same thing. It's like when I opened this in 2017, I'd shut my shop about a year prior up the coast, and was like, I've had enough. It's going to go and do something else because I'd had some other jobs in other industries, but I'd done 6 years up there and. Went through a divorce and, the whole life changed. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go and do something else. So in 12 months, I had 5 jobs. I quit all 5 of them because I was just like, this is shit. So I worked out I'm a shit employee. Once you've had some freedom, it's kind of like, it's really hard to rein
It's
that
hard to
back
go
in.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I opened this. I just rented a bit of space off a mate in his shed. And I was like, I just want to, if I can pay my bills and there's beer in the fridge, fuck, who cares? That's enough.
Happy days.
Yeah. And then it went, one bay to a few months in, I rented the second bay. About the 6-month mark, I took over half his shed. And at the end of the first year, I was like, all right, I need my own shed. And it just went from there because it was like, I have a hard time saying no to shit as well. So, when someone wants something, especially if I haven't done it, if I get asked for something, I go, oh, how the fuck would I do that? It's pretty well guaranteed I'm going to book it in because I want to do it, But like your guys, it's like, I would love to be able to work out how to copy and paste something, but I don't even know how the hell to do that. And I've got I still do my little designs. If I want to put something out to send to somebody, I'm still using Publisher. Like I'll create a 3D box in Publisher and write some notes with little arrows and stuff. Cause I'm like, I don't know how to use any of that shit.
Yeah. I mean, you were showing us your workshop just before we started recording this, and the stuff that you're doing by hand is really impressive.
Oh, thank you.
It's on the complete different end from what we're doing, which is trying to, mass produce these things. Of course, we're doing it here in Australia, but we're still trying to do it on a mass scale. Whereas what you're targeting is that really bespoke, high quality, custom one-off stuff. At least what I've seen here today.
Yeah.
And it's really impressive because it's a completely different skill set, I think, compared to what we have. We're probably in the more mundane logistics and supply chain type stuff. How do I
make
make
a shitload more money doing that.
But it's not as interesting as, this, Ute Chop 80 series you got out the back here with the stiffened chassis. That's the really interesting stuff.
That's the stuff that does, we had James down from Pirate Camp Co. I was telling you earlier. It's he does, his own sort of stuff as well with the CAD and all that. And I get the production value and the business aspect of it makes 100% sense. I sit back and I go, I gotta be bored. I have to mess with stuff.
Yep.
I have to challenge that thinking of how to do something. Mm-hmm. And I still go back. I'll still check out YouTube. I still go back and watch old school stuff and get the blood pumping for sheet metal and creating something like that. But it's very, very hard to work out how to replicate that. But the catalog builds, they still have their place. But I get the owners of a 200 not necessarily wanting to be the, ones doing the work. But, like the 300's out now, so the 200 might get a bit cheaper. You might get the guys upgrading, getting into the 200s now that'll want to do it. So, is there any that you've done that you just went, no, that's fucked up. We're not gonna pursue that.
D40 seat adapters.
Anything Triton.
Right. Yeah, Triton's get a bit of shit down here. That's all right. What's wrong with the D40s and is the Tritons just because they're Tritons, or is it just a painful seat to work with, or?
Oh, look, we do seat adapters for some Tritons.
Okay.
But it's the tailgate storage. They just don't make the depth in their tailgate. So.
What year was yours? It was about 2010, 2008, 2010?
Yeah, ML or MN Triton.
Yeah, they got a real shallow tailgate.
Yeah, we get asked for it all the time.
Right, okay.
But it's just, the thing is, it costs us, and this goes back to the mundane, boring production side of stuff.
Yeah.
It costs us the same to make a very shallow Triton tailgate storage as it does for a much, much deeper, like the Amarok one's quite deep, for example.
Yeah.
But to the end customer, they don't care how much it costs for us to make it. They care how much storage they get from the product that they're putting in. So it's just not worth it to do that, because we could make it, absolutely, but it's going to be useless. You're not going to get anything in there.
Yeah, by the time you've flattened off the base, because they've got a weird curve in them too.
Yep.
And yeah, right. Could you do something with it where it's like if it was down flat and you're looking at where it would be, could you do something where your top piece, instead of being flat, sort of comes across flat and steps up on a bit of a 45 to give you some depth, and you could put like cup holders in it and shit as well?
Look, we could, but at the end of the day, it's still a Triton.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
You're talking about making the tailgate taller.
Yeah, like when it folds down, it's like you can have cup holders and all sorts of cool shit in there.
It sounds like a great idea until you try to pull something heavy out of your tub, because you can't slide it over the tailgate anymore. It's taller than the tub, and it won't come out.
Yeah, right.
Like a
that's
pallet
true.
or something like that. So,
That makes sense.
Yeah, we've explored those sorts of options before.
Yeah. All right, scratch that idea. Fuck it. Have a crack. Why not?
Look, we still might have a job for you if you're moving down to Melbourne.
You know what? I spoke to Ruben about buddy Townsville. No, where is he? Toowoomba. And we've had a few conversations about where we would like the shop to end up. My drama is that it's like I love the heat, but I love the cold. So I'm like, I really don't know what I want to do, because it's like Victoria, that gets pretty fucking cold down there.
I mean, it's all relative, isn't it? Depends what you call cold. But, it also gets really hot during summer. It just doesn't last as long as what you have up here in Sydney. It's been plenty of 40-degree days this summer.
And
Really?
We've got a lot of better food, better coffee.
What's the compliance like down there? Because
It's terrible.
Is it? Yeah.
It's definitely more strict than
Yeah,
Queensland.
Queensland's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a big pull for me. Is like the lack of that I dotting and T crossing that you guys see. Because are you guys like New South Wales? Every 12 months you got to go over the pits. No, okay.
But import laws are different. Mod plating laws are different.
Right.
Our Vic Roads down there charges a quite hefty fee, I believe, for just a mod plate to start with, where Queensland, I think there's something where you don't even need to be a VAS engineer to do mod plates. And
Really?
I've heard something competent mechanics or something can sign off, and if there's a compliance number or something for it.
Okay.
I don't know, every state's different.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess at least down there, if you guys being so strict, it's like anything you do that you get approved is going to be fine anyway.
Yeah,
we get it tested to the Australian standard. Rhys is all over the top of that. So.
Yeah.
Again, that's the mundane stuff.
Yeah.
Reading through legislation and because it's funny. It all kind of goes back to the ADRs, which are standardised across the whole country.
Yep.
But the way that those are applied and enforced is done by the states.
Okay.
So because every state has their own road traffic authority, right?
Yeah.
So it might be really strict in Victoria. This is how they do the mod plates, whatever. But then you come up here, it's more relaxed, even though that's the same overarching legislation that they're all having to apply.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It is weird, and frustrating.
So when you're going down that path of the Australian design regulation, I-dotting, T-crossing, doing all that for something that you're working on, because you've already got a baseline, say, for the old 79, and now this new 79's come out, is there any crossover? Do you get, or do you got to start the whole thing again, resubmit everything again, or do you get like a little bit of a, well, 90% of it's the same, so we're really only getting teched off for this other 10?
Yeah, so again, that comes down to how it's going to be applied. So in most cases, it's the same test for all of our seat adapters, really, with the defining factor of whether they have a seat belt that we're modifying or whether the seat belt's not modified. So let's take a 79 series dual cab, for example. The seat belt goes straight to the floor. So for our seat adapters, we don't have to modify the seat belt. It's really easy to get that mod plated.
Right.
Because you're not mucking around with the seat belt. You're just mucking around with the seat anchorage.
Right. So that single cab that we did where we had to move the passenger.
Yeah, so you had a
Stalk?
70 bucket bench.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's then a different process again.
Correct, yeah. But it's the same test for all seatbelt relocation kits.
Yeah.
You just got to pull them with 3.2 tons from memory. And we've got that rig in-house now as well. So,
nice.
It used to belong to Ford Performance Vehicles back in the day, which is cool. Nice for the heritage as a Ford fan myself. Now we own that piece of equipment. And so we use it to test the seatbelts and see if they're compliant with all the relevant legislation and that exciting stuff. I mean, the test is rather exciting.
Yeah.
You never know if something's going to go bang.
Wow, yeah. 3.2 tons.
3.2 tons, yeah.
For a seatbelt.
Yep. Yeah. So it's basically like if it doesn't break at that point, well, you're probably dead anyway because it's been such a big accident.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the average human, call it 100 kilos.
Yep.
Stopping really quick. I don't know how the hell the average human's going to generate 3.2 tons of force and do it in one piece.
It's 35G or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're jello at that, geez.
Yeah, exactly.
Good Lord. Have you ever had one let go? Is it like...
No, I had somebody call me once who had, I think it was a Triton actually.
Yeah.
And he called me up. He said, I've bought one of your Triton kits before. I need another one. And I thought, what do you need another one for? What's wrong with the one you've got? He said, I was driving down the road and a kangaroo jumped out in front of me, swerved off the side, rolled the car 3 times. The whole car was totaled, but the seat adapters survived. They were barely deformed at all. He's like, but I think I should get some new ones anyway. So we just gave him a new set of sliders and seat adapters for that. But it was good to know, oh, good. Everything worked just like it should.
Wow. That's a good bloody sales pitch then, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. You want to come down and do an interview?
Yeah.
Jeez. Have you had one let go in testing?
I've had the actual seatbelt buckle itself fail, which is not something that we make. That scared the crap out of me. But no, the ones that we sell now, they've all passed the testing. So yeah.
And we've got a good idea now of what's going to pass and what won't, and what we can get away with, and how big you can make flanges before you got to weld a gusset in, and all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, right. Are you guys powder coating in-house as well, or are you still sending that out?
That's the only thing we don't do in-house in terms of the sheet metal fabrication. It comes in as raw steel.
Yeah.
We laser cut it, we fold it, we weld it, we design it, we package it, we assemble it, everything. But not the powder coating one because it takes up quite a bit of space.
Yeah.
And 2, it's dirty.
It is, yeah. It's we've got our Paul up at Thermal Edge that does any powder coating we need, and it's like every time I think about doing it, and then I look at the price of what he does it for you for, like in the trade, I'm just kind of like, I'm not doing it for that.
Yeah.
Like it's just you that's your skill set.
Yeah.
Like all for people that bring a lot of stuff in house and that, but there is a line where you've got to go, I don't need that stress. That's your bucket. You do it. But so everything else is done in house, from design to fabrication to testing, everything. You're doing it all in house. That's really cool.
100%. Yeah.
When did you kick off the seats? Because I've seen them popping up a lot over the last few months.
Probably about 12 months ago now, maybe a little over 12 months ago.
Over 12 months,
but you mentioned earlier about our social media. So we brought on a new worker who we actually didn't know he had skills in social media.
Okay.
But he sort of told us, I've done some creative work before. He did his mum's cooking channel, actually.
Okay.
And so, all right, well, let's have a go. And he took to it like a duck to water, and he's killing it.
Yeah.
We applied for the Hume Business Awards, which is our local council, and last year we won the Hume Business of the Year and the Hume Small Business of the Year as well. And one of the things they said is, they've got this really good social media feed. So, he's doing an excellent job with that.
Yeah.
And putting out some controversial memes, getting some discussion started.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's,
Shout out to Manoj. We love you, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Manoj.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's I noticed the ramp up. Because obviously, the business pages, like I've been following this for ages, but I definitely noticed it was like, fuck, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It all started with a bit of a happy conversation.
Yeah.
We were just standing around one day, And I just said to him, like, where do you want to be in 5 years? What do you want to do?
Right.
And he's a pretty quiet fella. And we just started chatting from there. What do you like to do?
Yeah.
You know, and he said, oh, I like social media and I like editing videos. I'm like, you're kidding me. I'm like,
Have I got the job for
I'm
you?
like, I got something else you might like to try. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was great. It's been a great fit. He's a lovely bloke. We're more than happy to have him. You know, he's definitely part of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really cool. I dig the energy in it. You know,
Well, we give him a lot of creative license and just go for it.
Yeah.
You know, when you step into a job and the boss just tells you, just go for it.
Yeah. How about it? Have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. It's definitely it's definitely more at the top of the feeds than it was. So that's the level of content too, I guess, because it's like, you know, if you do, although who were we talking about earlier, Gary V.
Yeah.
You know, he's had a thing for years. It's like, you know, 3 bits of content a day, you know, like 1 video, 2 posts or 2, whatever it is.
Well, he's also a fan of Gary V, so, you know, him and I had this connection straight away. So.
Nice.
There
they are.
Why don't you play the Prado meme while we've had one go a little bit viral. It's making fun of Prado owners, and we love you, Prado owners. This is not done in any form of hate. It's a little bit further down, I think.
What are the seats based on, or do you want to come back to that? Because they kind of look like the GTS seats.
They are, yes. So VE GTS.
Oh, there you go.
It uses a genuine Holden frame.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the reels, so it might not show up here. Do you remember where it is, Jace? The manager's going to kill us. He's going to be screaming at the camera now. Yeah, go to the reels there in the middle. Sorry, down a little bit from where you are.
There you go. Click that one.
Yeah, beautiful. And then it'll be a little bit lower.
RDJ. Oh, do you just get?
What's he done with it? He's hidden it from us.
Do you ever worry
there it
about
is. Sorry,
any
it's
of
that one on the left. Yeah, that one there.
Right.
Yeah.
Go on, click it, Shawnee.
Oh, we might need sound.
Oh, I did see that.
Hey, same car. Hey, same car. Hey, same car.
Oh, shut it up. Fucking hell. Yeah, I did see that pop up. What's when you're playing with all that, like using I don't know, a portion of a TV ad or a movie or whatever like that, do you have to put anything in there with the upload? Because I know you put a song or something in there and YouTube has a bloody heart attack.
So what they do now is if they detect copyrighted material, they'll monetize it and then they'll pay the copyright owner. So
Right.
I think they figured out quite some years ago, you're not going to be able to stop people putting content on their platforms. So instead, let's make the content copyright owners happy by paying them when it gets used. So
Cool.
I was looking at it this morning. One of our videos,
If you scroll up a little bit.
the install of the Raptor that I did.
Oh, that one was monetized on YouTube, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was monetized, but we did a TV show in America, which is what you've got highlighted there.
Yeah.
And again, because it's their content, they just get paid for it. So any ads that are placed there go to them,
Right.
which I think is the right way to do it. I mean, what do you reckon? Should we stop people from using all copyrighted material, or just pay the owners when it gets used?
No, I think that's a brilliant way to do it. It's like someone's gone and put some content together, and if it's doing something that is generating money, it's like, well, it probably shouldn't go to the person that pinched it.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't just be, because it's like, if it's monetized and I don't know, let's pick a number, it makes $1,000. If it can't go to you because they're saying, well, you pinched it, where's it go?
Yeah, then it just goes to YouTube or Facebook. Something,
I would think they just keep it.
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that if that's what they're doing and it's now going to the place that it's from,
Yeah.
I think that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So we
Right,
like
so-
to get our other staff involved in the videos as well.
Yes.
We've got our resident Habibi here in the hat.
Oh, yeah.
He's a bit of a character.
This golden retriever.
Yeah, that's my best mate, Josh. He's just doing a bit of a testimonial. He put some of our seats in his 76.
Yeah. I love goldies. I've had 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had Flossie was our family dog. She got to about 13, I think, and then I had Buddy. He was my dog, but Mum kind of took him over, as mums do.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
okay.
I think he got to about 13 as well.
Yep.
Love those dogs.
So this video on the right's popping off at the moment. That's had over 200,000 views on TikTok since yesterday.
Holy shit.
It's just a video of me installing a tailgate storage unit into a Raptor.
Yeah.
People love this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's going crazy.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see. Is that a black pen on a black
No,
Raptor liner?
it's a
yellow.
It's
right.
a yellow pen that wasn't working very well. And man, that stuff stinks when you cut it, doesn't it?
Raptor?
Oh
yeah.
But I don't know if that's Raptor or if it's some other brand, but it's probably all the same chemical.
It kind of looks like Raptor.
It's whatever Ford uses. You know, the one that.
Yeah, I think a lot of those ones are coming over with Raptor on them.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I used to do a heap of tub liners for Performax while I was still at Northlakes there. And there was a certain model that came out that just came with it, I think, from as a factory thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's shit doesn't stick to it real well either. When you're trying to like tape off lines and stuff like that, you got to wax and grease remover it and get that anti-stick kind of coating off it.
It's good stuff though. It's better than having a tub liner.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I just did one on I think it was a Great Wall. It was only about 3 years old, and it had a plastic liner in it. And he come down and he was like, having a conversation. He's trying to save some cash. And I said, all right, well, that's cool. You go home, take the liner out, take your sports bar off and all that sort of stuff, and just bring me to you. He rings me and he goes, I've got this plastic liner out. He goes, mate, there's fucking rust everywhere. And I said, you send me a picture or call in and I'll have a look. And it was down the side, so like over the wheel arch. It was about probably 300 mil down each side. And it was little dots all over it. And what it was when the dealership had fitted the tonneau cover and the rear rack, they drilled out and all the swarf had gone down behind the bloody plastic liner and just started rusting.
And rusted.
Yeah. I mean, they're shit anyway because they're not sealed and, when you're flexing and there's so much flex in the bodies of this new stuff that as the bodies move and the plastics rubbing on areas and creating over time some raw steel and because moisture gets in and if you're going off-road, sand and shit. It's, the plastic ones are fucking horrible things. Yeah. But it's just, I mean, it was one of those things. Again, we had Senko. I was like, look, I can do this by hand, but it's going to be more expensive for me doing this hourly. Sent it down to Senko. They just sandblasted and primed the 2 strips. They charged him like $400.
Yep.
I was like, I wouldn't have gotten rid of that rust for $400. I can tell you now. By hand, that would have been a day's worth of work. Stripping all that back. But yeah, come up good. He loved it. But it's the plastic liners are shit. So, what made you take the step into doing the seats? Was that like just a logical next step? Like we're doing adapters, people are buying seats. Let's just fucking fill that gap.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It's something that we'd wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
We explored a few different avenues.
Yeah.
We spoke to another local company who shall remain nameless.
Right. A local here.
No, local to us.
Okay.
Local to us down in Melbourne.
Yep.
They know who they are.
They just import seats, that company that you're referring to. So these are all made in Melbourne. Brand new leather, brand new foam on a genuine Holden VE frame. So it's all good quality stuff.
And they're so have you? I'm just trying to look. You've got options there? Yeah, black leather. You can change stuff up.
So we don't have a lot of options.
Right.
So the idea is we didn't want to do custom. We didn't want to do customers got to wait 6 to 10 weeks to get delivery.
Yeah.
We try and keep them on the shelf all the time. You place your order at night after you've had a couple of beers. We'll ship them out the next morning.
Right. Well, that's back to that serviceability production line stuff. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm going away next weekend. How soon can you get them here? There's express options at checkout. You know, all that sort of e-commerce type stuff.
That's a pair of seats for $2,500
Plus delivery, plus adapter.
for sure.
Yeah. So then, there's the next bit there. You choose your the adapter that you need.
Yeah.
And then, obviously the shipping and checkout.
Click on the 80 series one there, Shawnee. No, the second one from the bottom. Keep going. That one more. There you go. Click on the picture. Does that expand?
Yeah, that's my car. That's my 80 series. one of the
Probably should put photos with the actual seats in there.
well, that's an ad for the adapter kit, not for the
Right,
seats.
okay,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, all right, fair call. Yeah, nice. How, with those HSV seats and the adapters, how much higher are you than the factory 80 seat?
About the same height.
Okay. Is that because the seat itself's like a little bit shorter in the arse, so it takes up less room?
Yes and no. Our adapter's about 4 mil thick, so you're adding about 10 mil of height to the seat. And the thing that affects the ultimate finished height is how much abuse has the factory seat copped.
Right.
So the way this all started, I'd had my 80 series seat repaired when I had to get it roadworthied.
Yeah.
All the foam was breaking away.
Yeah.
Side of the seat was all damaged. I had an upholsterer fix it up. A couple of years after owning it, every time I vacuumed it out, there was all foam all under the seat. It was all just breaking down.
Yeah.
So, you know, if some bigger guy's owned it before you have and he's squished all the foam out of the seat and that sort of thing, that's going to affect the finish height more than what bolting a nice pair of XR6 seats in or our premium touring seats.
So those seats that you guys are producing, that's new foam, new covers, or basically a fully refurbished seat.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. That's
And look, I know we're a little bit biased, but one, it's got the best logo in the world stitched into the back of it there.
It's a good logo. It's almost as good as mine.
And bang for buck.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to go past, you know.
No, look, $2,500.
You can get something for around about $1,000 from a lot of different other seat manufacturers that's made overseas. They're built to look great, but when you sit in them for a couple of hours, you soon regret it.
Oh, look, I had some Auto Technica or SAS seats or something like that in one of my Commodores years ago. That was all right when you were just going from like Stafford to Aspley Macca's, which for you guys means nothing, but it's a 5-minute drive. But you're going down the coast and you're sitting in it for an hour. It's like, they're not. Yeah. And I'm not little, and I mean, like I was like 89 kilos in year 10, so I've always been a bit heavier. But yeah, no, they're for these like this one, these little pricks.
And look, 4-wheel drive's the type of car you tend to load everything up in and go on a long trip.
Yeah.
So look, it makes sense. I don't know why the manufacturers, I love your Toyota, but I don't know why they don't put better seats in their cars from factory. I mean, it's worked out well for us. You know, please don't change it, Toyota, but...
Well, you know, they took away the best part of the 79, well, the two best parts, the scoop and the V8. So, you know, I guess they're not going to upgrade their seats anytime soon. But...
Yeah, it's crazy, you know. Bang a good pair of seats in it. It's the mod you use every time you use your car.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it. And that's actually cheaper than I thought it was.
I'm hearing collaboration.
Hey, I'm always up for a collaboration. I mean, like, I love them, but I'm a Holden fan as well. So it's like for my, you know, daily toys, it's Holden and Toyota. It's just, that's what it's kind of always been. So it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for ages I was doing the XR6 seats because it was like our options around here for anything that looks like that's a substantial amount more than $2,500.
Yeah.
So it's just the XRs with a bang for buck.
Yeah, and that's what they were when we first started doing this, and that's why we started with the XR seats.
Yeah,
they were great. Not that I'm a Ford fan, but you know, some adjustable lumbar, a little bit of side bolstering.
Yeah,
keeps you in the seat.
While the plastic handles are still attached.
Yeah, really, really comfortable. There was plenty of them. The first pair that I got for my 80 series, I did a favour for the local wrecker, and he chucked me a pair for nothing.
Yeah, right.
And then for Rhys's car, I think I picked them up for almost nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because nobody really wanted them, and there was plenty of them around. So.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So what's next? What have you guys got cooking that you're sort of waiting to release or?
We could tell you, but we'd probably have to kill you.
Oh, come on. There's got to be no, like if you don't want to give away any kind of secrets, don't. But, you know, I feel like there's some stuff coming because it's like everything's ramping up and, There's always something that follows that.
Yeah, we've got a list of things that we want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably at least 10 things that are on this Excel spreadsheet thing that I've got.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this is what we need to do to try and achieve these different goals. And in the short term, we're really upgrading our tailgate storage units to make the interior box that goes inside of the tailgate to actually be a single thermoform piece of plastic instead of sheet metal. There's a few benefits to that. We can make them bigger, we can make them lighter, we can make them waterproof, we can make them dustproof.
Yeah.
So it's just benefit after benefit. But the downside is a lot of upfront cost. The tooling to have that made is extremely expensive.
For sure.
Really
Is that the sort of thing that you create like a buck and then they vacuum seal the hot
Correct.
stuff?
Yeah, it's really impressive to watch.
Yeah.
You see it, they just pull this plastic sheet over a big heater,
Yep.
heat it up so it gets all soft, and then they push the mold up underneath it and vacuum it down.
Yeah.
And, you know, a part just appears out of thin air.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos where they do it with like dashes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That
You
would be
you
a
watch
cool
it
thing.
more than once.
You do,
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's very satisfying.
because the first thing you're watching it, and then that happens. Hang on, what the fuck did I miss? Go and have another look. Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, because that would be. I guess though, at least with that, it's got a relatively standard base platform, and you're only creating the positive mold. Because you're not compressing two things. So you don't need a positive and you don't need a male and a
That's
female.
right. Yes, you only have to have one side of the tooling and then you suck it through.
Yeah.
But still, it's one per tailgate, and we
Yeah.
have 25 different designs. So
Yeah, right.
it's still pretty expensive to do, but we think it's well worth it. In the
Yeah,
long run.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, is that the sort of thing that would be like you would CAD that and CNC like out of whatever material can handle the heat and
Yeah, so we're not making the tooling. That's a pretty specialist job.
Okay.
So we had an engineer from a local university come in and spend about 2.5 months with us
Yeah.
over the summer. And he created all of those designs and got it all ready to go.
Yeah.
So we're ready to send those off to the specialist tool manufacturer now to
Yeah.
make all those thermoform molds. So that's
That's
probably
cool.
going to be over the next 6 months or so by the time we get the ball rolling on that.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
do you, in that sort of setting, is that the type of thing where it's CADed that well that you know, okay, this is just going to
Yes.
be fine? It's,
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's where, you know, it's all precisions are tight enough, or
Yeah.
tolerances are tight enough, rather, that you can be sure from the CAD that it's just going to work. And
Yeah.
it should, because you have to invest a lot of money in it.
For sure.
to get those molds made.
Yeah.
And by CAD, we mean cardboard aided design.
That helps.
That's my kind of design. That's my version of CAD anyway.
Where did you pick up your skills, Ben?
Oh, fuck.
Any formal training
No.
or just on the job?
No.
This looks fun.
No. God. Well, look, the old man, I mean, he used to race go-karts. Actually, you haven't brought that up for a while, have you? This one's been on to me to do a go-kart team for fucking forever. He wants to race karts. But Dad used to race go-karts, and I sort of grew up with him, like, tinkering. You know, he did the renovations on the house. He would service his cars. You know, he used to build furniture and...
Yep.
You know, something would break, and so our last name's Mott, M-O-T-T. So his whole thing is that he would modify things
Okay.
and just make it work. And so I just grew up with that. And then when I probably hit about, I don't know, I mean, there's photos of me busting up old fibro walls in the house with a little sledgehammer at, like, I don't know, 5.
Yep.
But I got more involved in the tooling and the cars and the karting and all that sort of shit probably around 12, 13. And he would build his own go-kart trailers. And, you know, just not a trailer like that you would just, you know, not a 6x4 trailer. It'd be something ridiculous with, you know, gull wing doors and a top on it. Just, you know. And then I sort of got into working with him and, you know, doing some welding and some cutting, and it was very much just fun. He had a friend that was a panel beater that, like, apparently the first time I got taken in there, because they'd been friends for many, many years, first time I got taken into that shop, I was in a nappy, and it's like, you know, as soon as I could hang around down there, sort of after school, I was down there hanging out, sanding something, or, you know, just it was a workshop, but it was like this. It was a boys' club. Like, they got work done, but it was, you know, pretty much because they kind of needed to. Not, you know, it was like they'll do what they've got to do, but nobody's working 100-hour week. It's like, do what you got to do, and so that we can sit down and have a coffee and a smoke and a beer. Like that's what I grew up with. So it was really just a natural progression of me into cars. The first proper job I had with automotive was window tinting, which then, like the first time I kind of had my own little side hustle was in Dad's shed at home while I was window tinting, and I just was tinting mates' cars on the weekend.
Yep.
Making more money on the weekend than I was during the week, because I think I was on like $380 a week.
Tinting windows.
Tinting windows. Well, at my job when I was like 18, but I got a few years on you, so that probably sounds horrible to you, but back then it was all right, and you're living at home, so I didn't have a lot of bills, but you'd make a couple $100 per car doing 3 or 4 cars over a weekend for mates and mates of mates and all that sort of stuff. So that then just progressed to doing some of my own stuff, and with a little bit of knowledge from working with Dad and the window tinting, and then you get to a point where there's lots of door trims that some of them the top will pop back to get access to below the rubber when you're doing a tint job, and some of them you've got to take them apart. So then it's like, okay, so you're working out how to take different things apart, and sometimes there's parcel shelves are in the way for the rear screen. And again, I wasn't little, so doing coupes, I'd end up taking half the arse end of some of these cars apart, and then it just snowballed. Like I'd do something and then get bored with it and look for another challenge, and it's like every time I did something, it's the same. This shop's the same. There's heaps of stuff in this shop that I didn't do in the old shop, but I would do things for me, get an idea, go, I reckon that'll work. The 79 bonnets are one of them. The first one we did was for my truck.
Yeah, they look really cool.
They're a good upgrade, but it was never meant to be a thing. I had a spare pre-DPF 79 bonnet sitting around. We'd done a replacement for a bonnet on another guy's car that was a 79, just needed a new bonnet. He'd kicked the corner in. Just sitting around in the afternoon having beers, had the GU that I'd chopped and looking at it, going, I reckon I can make that fit. And just cut it up, did it, put the photo up of the end, and it was... I keep referring to the rear wall for people that can't see it, but there's a shitload of stuff on the rear wall. The third row up, second in from the right, with all the green flames all over it. So we chopped it, big fiberglass guards, MCC, rocker bar, like all the fruit. Nobody gave a shit about any of that. Everyone was talking about the bonnet. So it's like, okay, well, I worked it out. I do them very differently now than what we used to, but it was like, okay, well, people are interested in that now. We do bonnets. Yep. So everything's been a natural progression of me doing stuff on my car, working it out, and then it's like, all right, if I can get my head around it, all right, well, now we'll offer that. But yeah, no, it's just, I'm still the same. I'm not trying to set the world on fire with it. It's like if we ever do an expansion the way I want to do it with, Wildside Inc., a little tattoo studio in the showroom, and the Wildside whiskey bar, and so we've got like a cool hangout and the pool table, and like the think American stuff.
Yeah.
If we get to a point where we're doing that, pardon me, it'll be with like the right people around me again, because like I'm really enjoying the filming, I'm really enjoying the podcast. I love stories. It's just a matter of the right people around you to support what you're trying to do. Because I think that's where I went wrong last time, was just, I don't know, some silly decisions. And, at the beginning of 23, I sort of basically started it all again. Went back to just me and rebuilt everything. And, now it's kicking along. I get to have conversations like this, and it's all just part of that just love of the industry, of products, of business stuff, of stories, of just everything.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no one piece of paper and there's no one piece of paper I'm really chasing, because I don't want to stop kind of learning and, challenging myself and all that. So I've never really been after a finite end like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was a really fucking long-winded answer, but it's kind of like, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
What I do, I find is my lifestyle.
Yep. And the podcast is one of the things that's taken up most of your time at the moment?
It's from something that was never really meant to be a thing, it definitely is.
Yep.
I said this to little Mick the other day when he was down. My goal, I met Barney at a four-wheel drive show from Legend X. I met him.
So did we.
Yeah.
Met him at Melbourne show. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I met him in, I think it was 2018, and I just, like, I'm still a fan, you know, like I waited in line and, you know, I already had the shop open, but waited in line, but we held up the line for like 20 minutes talking shit. And I thought, fuck it, I'll take a chance. I said, here's my card. Like, if you're ever floating around Brendale, there's always cold beer in the fridge. Like, he's not going to show up. And he showed up. And, you know, we Ubered home that afternoon. Yeah. So, you know, but he's been really instrumental in a lot of different stuff, you know, pushing me to, you know, the snorkels and the bits and pieces that are branded and that copy and paste kind of stuff. He's pushed me to continue down that path. But it was, the conversation with him was, like, when you're at these shows, like, how many times are you answering the same fucking questions? And he's just like, I don't know. You wouldn't believe it. And that's where it come from. I was like, well, I'm a fan. If I want to know stuff, chances are other people are going to want to know it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that gave me a bit of a platform to start thinking about all this. And this has changed a little bit since we did the first episode last year with Darren from the Little Rig. But I had 2 or 3 different layouts for it. And, like, I watch Rogan, and it's like I kept trying to do something that was different. But at the end of it, I was like, he's got all the fucking money in the world. He's been doing it for 15 years. Who am I to think I'm going to come up with something better? So I was like, fuck it, own it. I'm doing it the way he does it or my version of the way he does it. And so with the idea from Barney and, you know, the whole success leaves clues kind of mentality, I went, I'll just do it this way. And it's a tribute to kind of what he's done and how engaged I am with what he does, but with my industry as an undertone, or our industry as an undertone, instead of the fight background like he has. And it just kind of snowballed. And it was like, I got the goal at one point quite early of having Ruthie on. And I was like, if I can get Ruthie, I've made it. Because he, for me, was the pinnacle of the industry. You know, it was like the nicest bloke. You never hear a bad word about him. Full of stories. And I thought, if I can get him, I'm sweet. I'm done. You know, anything from there is a bonus. And he come down on episode 13. We had a great chat. And it was just like, fuck, what do I do now? So we just opened it up to other contacts that we've got, like Dan Fox from Fox Finance. He sent a couple of boys down to talk about, you know, consolidation and shit like that with all these interest rates. And, you know, we've had a couple of mental health episodes, fucking Pauline Hanson. That got some interesting interactions.
It was
online.
always going to, though, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but definitely got a lot more. I got a lot more of a window into people and opinions and how forward some people can be that I probably wasn't expecting. Joe Rogan always says, like, don't read the comments. I'm a sucker for them.
Post and go.
Yeah, but it doesn't faze me. Like, I you know, there was shit in there about a pair of racists and this. And I'm like, fuck off. Like, you know, I don't care. If somebody doesn't know me, your opinion, go suck a dick. I don't care. So it doesn't weigh me down, like, which is what he's talking about. Like, don't let it overwhelm you.
Yeah, and it will.
I don't care. So that part of it for me is not a problem. I was surprised that it was there. I was like, I was reading some of the stuff and I'm like, it has no effect on me because I don't care. But I was just surprised at the brazen, just fucking no holes barred, some of the stuff that was being said. I was like, and I didn't block any of it. I was like, you know, if Twitter lets people talk, who am I to sit there and filter shit? You want to put something like that out there, you can own it, you know, and you can own all the shit that it'll get when the responses. And like, there was some of them were just backwards and forwards at each other. I'm like, this is comical, you know. But she had a lot of support. I don't know whether we changed anybody's minds with it. It wasn't to be a political platform. I wanted to know her.
Yeah.
And when they said yes, I was like, totally unexpected. So I was like, well, I'm absolutely going to do it. Because outside of her group of people, I was like, how many people get to sit down with her in a one-on-one conversation for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Like it can't happen often.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Come of it what may. Like, if she wants to preach some of her stuff, go for it. I'm about as far removed from a political reporter as you can get. And I was me. I we dropped a couple of F-bombs and had some beers, and it was just like, I just wanted to hear about her.
Yeah.
She did a few of her typical things and put a couple of, dot points of her political stuff out there, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not here to mediate that. It was just like, I just wanted to share an afternoon with somebody, and I'll do that with as many different people as I can. So it's definitely gone beyond where I thought it would.
Yeah.
But I love doing it, and I love having a beer, and I love stories. I love hearing, how people have got to where they are and all that sort of stuff. So for me, it's an excuse to, drink beer and talk shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So from that point of view, it's like I can't complain.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have.
Yeah. But you guys making the run to come up here, is that because you guys are starting to ramp everything up? You're just getting out there everywhere you can?
Go, Chase.
Yes.
It was Manoj, our social media guy.
Yeah.
Again, he said, you got to do it. And that was sort of the catalyst for us.
Okay.
It was, all right, well, we've been told. So,
there you go.
We booked our flights later that day, I think, and up we came.
And you've got a pregnant wife at home.
Yes.
Very pregnant. Very, very pregnant.
Yeah, due late April. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, so it's getting close.
So getting there.
Is that your first?
Second.
Second. All right. Okay. So you know what you're in for anyway.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cried like a fucking schoolgirl when my two were born.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had the first one coming out, I was totally unexpected to have that kind of flood of emotion. And then that was Blake. And then 3 years later, Miranda come along. And I was like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. I'm solid. I know what to expect. But then she come out and she wasn't breathing. And then
shit.
Yeah. And then it went from a midwife and maybe someone else in the room to like 6 people and fucking noises, and they've rushed her off to this little table, and I can hear them talking to her and going, come on, this and that. And I don't know how long it was. It probably wasn't more than a handful of seconds, but then she's let out like their first kind of cry, and I fucking crumbled again.
Yeah.
God,
Wow.
it's a plethora of emotion.
It is. It is. One of my friends from uni, she went back and became a midwife later on. She was telling us about how home births work. So apparently the kids will take their first breath when the air hits their face.
Right.
So if you do a home birth in one of those pools, they actually have to hold the kid underwater as it's being born so it doesn't try to take its first breath too soon.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine doing that?
No. Not at all.
Baby comes out and you're holding this thing underwater.
Wow. Yeah, I guess because it'd be like that because you've been warm
Yeah.
the whole time, so that cool air is like...
Yeah, the cool air is what causes them to take that first breath.
Wow.
Really interesting.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Apparently, that's what makes you start breathing after you've been drowning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Same
So
reflex.
if you start resuscitating someone
Yeah.
and they cough up a whole lot of water, you're supposed to start blowing on their face.
Ah.
So that reflex gets
Wow.
them to start
There
breathing.
you go.
again.
Survival tips on this podcast as well.
There you go. I've never understood that with dogs. You're like, and they'll fucking pull
bite
their
at
head
you.
back, but they stick their head out a fucking window at 100. I don't get that.
Or stick their nose in another dog's ass.
Well, yeah,
that's
there's
fine.
That. There's that. That's saying hello. Like you would if you could. Oh dear. So the seats, the adapters, the tailgate storage. Obviously, it started as a friendship that you kind of just created a bit of an idea for a product and then started doing that. When was that? When did that first kind of product happen?
About 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Started getting all the memories on, Facebook and stuff like that. Shows
Yeah.
you 10 years since this. Oh, wow. Geez, time goes fast, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I wasn't on Facebook then, had no social media, just a young family. I met this young kid that was at university, helping him do his turbo install, and he kept stopping to take photos.
Right.
And I'm just thinking in my head, what the fuck are you doing, mate?
At least it wasn't fucking plates at dinner. That was a craze for a while. Every news feed had someone's fucking dinner on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you're fresh out of uni. Were you still at home then? Were you still with parents?
No,
Were you out?
I was renting because it was over an hour each way from where my mum was living to the uni.
Right.
So I moved out at that point.
Yeah.
And I was just renting a little apartment right across the road from uni.
Yeah.
And I was riding my bike across to Jason's workshop.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Pushy while we were working on the car because it took us about a week, I think, to do it.
Yeah, nice. And the step to go, right, so you took the leap first to go, right, I'm out of this, let's take this on? And,
No. Rhys had finished doing uni. I was still working full time, and it was kicking off. It got to the point where it was like we both had 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You know, I can only speak from my experience, but I was coming home at night time, kissing the family, hello.
Going to
Wife would
bed.
have dinner for me, and then hitting the workshop.
Oh, right.
At home, out in the garage,
Yeah.
packing stock, making stock, doing all sorts of things. You know, my son had come out, hang out in the garage with me. It was the only way he'd get to see me or spend any time with me. And
That's kind of cool, though.
oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Look, I'll talk more about my son in a minute, but
Right.
yeah, he would come out and just hang and talk to me, and then he got a little bit older, so we started getting his help with some stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And you just want to hang out with Dad, don't you? You want to do what Dad's doing,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. So my wife was very, very, very supportive. She put up with just me basically not being there.
Yeah.
If she wanted to see me, she had to come out into the garage. That
Yep.
was it. I was out there till 10:30, 11 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
Switch the light off, go to bed. Alarm would wake up, go do me 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
Come home, start again. All day Saturday, most days Sunday.
Yep.
And yeah, as my son's gotten older and older, he's 16 and a half now.
Okay.
He comes in, he works with us. He can run every piece of machinery we've got in the workshop.
That's cool.
We installed CAD software on his laptop when he was about 12.
Right.
We showed him the how-to videos
Yeah.
on making sheet metal parts, and
Yeah.
he just went from there. So he'll run our CO2 laser, our fibre laser. He runs our brake press.
Wow.
He's just grown up with it
Yeah.
through his whole life. Like, it's not a job for us. This is our life.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we love doing.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And you're hanging out with Dad. Dad's doing that. You do that too. So
Yeah.
And his curious nature is just, what's that? What's this new thing? All the time.
Yeah.
Every time. So he's just on top of everything.
Yeah.
You know, he's 100% interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. He works with us on school holidays. He's a valuable member of the team when he comes in.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried to make it. You know, it's not Dad. I'm not just at work with Dad. So Rhys is his boss.
Yeah.
If he's got a problem, he speaks to Rhys.
Yeah, it's probably smart.
If he's not going to show up, he's got to tell Rhys.
Yeah.
Not that he fucking does. But you know,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. You know,
Yeah.
try and get a bit of a separation. And the kid's got a heart of gold. He's got a fantastic work ethic.
Yeah.
You know, he'll put in a full day's work.
Yeah.
You know, he's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to get my two somewhat involved in this at some point. It's you know, that concept of having that kind of, you know, this going back to the, you know, 90s, 80s, like the family run shops, kind of that sort of concept, and something you can pass off, you know, hand over and
Yeah.
whatever else. And
Well, I hope to see the same thing from Rhys' son.
yeah,
You know, Rhys is a highly intelligent and motivated individual.
yeah,
By all looks, his young son's going to be the same.
Yeah.
So, you know, he loves the forklift. He loves diggers, loves equipment.
yeah.
You know,
Typical boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait till he comes in and he's allowed to spend some time in the workshop.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be great for me too. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I've got something important to do. You go back to work. You know, and I'll show his son around.
How old's your little fella?
He's 3 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just curious and old enough to get in all sorts of trouble.
That's right.
Yeah. Good times, good age.
Yours?
Blake's 13 and Miranda's 10.
Okay.
Yeah, Blake's kind of, he likes coming down here. He'll have a look around and you know, he'll ask questions and stuff like that. So will Miranda, but she's just all about her dance.
Okay.
That's just, yeah, she competes in multitudes of different bloody genres that I can't remember the names of, but, you know, she's very, very good at it. So I think she'll end up down that kind of path, something to do with some sort of show business. And, you know, she's all in regards to the little, confident little personality that she's got, like she's just, I look at her and I just go, that was me. I was the class clown, the center of attention. That's just all her. Blake's a little bit more reserved. They're both very energetic in what they do. They're very different from each other. And I see a lot of me in him with he can get quite tunnel visioned on whatever he's doing, like whether it's a game or he draws really, really well. I used to draw a bit, but he's way better than I ever was. But it's like
Chip Fu style.
I'd say if Blake turned his attention to the automotive thing, I would say he'd be up there. Like some of the he's very much into the comic book stuff and the characters and like some of the drawings that he does is just fucking amazing. But if you directed that towards automotive, I would say he'd go down that sort of path, like design and then, concept drawings and stuff like that. Because I'm like that too. I can get, whether it's anything that captures my attention, if I see something on YouTube or my biggest problem is that I'm completely disrespectful to the level of skill that a lot of people have because I get that doesn't look that fucking hard. Yeah. And I'll have a crack at it with the airbrushing is a big one. That I'll see something and be like, I'll give that a crack. Like it's only abstract type stuff. Like I love the Michael Lavallee revolutionized flame jobs. He did a thing called True Fire. I that sort of stuff and the rusted panels with rivets in it and all that sort of stuff. I can't do caricatures. Little Mick who was down here, he'll pull the trigger on a gun and a fucking dragon comes out. That's not me. Like I like that abstract kind of. I don't even know if abstract's the right word, but like the helmet up the top there.
Yeah, right.
Like that was my first attempt at a rusted helmet.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of stuff I like that. And like the helmet that's down there, I don't know if you can see that, but like it's got like the fire flame on it. Yeah, that sort of thing. Like I love deep diving. If something gets my attention, I'm like, like the first bead roller that I bought was watching someone make a floor panel, and I was like, all right, Hare and Forbes, fucking $700, and I'm like, fuck it, why not? I'll grab that, and then I spent a week learning how to use it and not completely destroying the panel. They always still end up a little bit of warpage to them, but when you weld them down, they're flat.
We did the same thing with a 110-ton 3-meter brake press.
Right.
That was a bloody deep dive, I can tell you that, mate.
Yeah, well, that's not an $800 bit of thing you can just play around with either.
It certainly was not.
No.
Yeah.
What's that's what I was curious on with you're doing it. You're basically doing it 2 full-time jobs. You decide you're going right, balls to the wall. In on this. This is what you're doing. Are you doing that only full-time? Have you because you stopped uni or?
Yeah, as I finished up and sort of submitted my thesis, I have a lot of free time. So I basically went full-time first because that was all we needed at the time. Yeah. And even then, full-time was like 10 till 3.
Right.
And that sort of did everything we needed. And then Jason finished up at Petters and it was still kind of 10 till 3. And then it was like, oh, we're not getting through it.
It was 10 till 3 with lucky little dumplings.
Yeah, going out for some lovely dumplings for lunch. And then it was 9 till 3 and then 9 till 4. And eventually we were just working a full work day. And then it was hiring more staff and it was just one after another until we have, I think we said 8 staff now. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, your question was, what was I doing? So as I finished up my thesis, it just sort of gradually took a little bit more time. Every week it was more orders, new product, design this, design that. Yeah.
So you're 10 years now, so that's 2015. So you were into it, both of you full-time by about when? But 2 years in?
17?
No.
When did you quit Petters? Just got to think about it now.
Yeah, look, it was about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yep.
So you guys went full-time and then COVID happened, and I'm guessing you, like everybody else in the automotive industry, just exploded.
Correct. Yeah. We wouldn't be where we are now without that.
No.
Because, everyone just started spending like crazy on their four-wheel drives.
Yeah. Can't go anywhere, can't travel, just build what you got. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked
we were
out
very
well.
fortunate,
Yeah, no, good timing. Yeah. Well, look, I was the same. I opened the doors in 2017.
Yep.
And it's like I randomly landed the Norris car group doing their overflow window tinting because all I wanted to do was just I was just going to do window tinting, paint protection, paint fab, leather, vinyl, new car shit. That's why I only need one bay, one car at a time, easy as. But then we picked up the Norris Overflow, and I ended up, I think I was doing about 3 or 4 cars a day for them. So that first 12 months became, all right, I'm just doing their stuff, and now I need a second bay so I can do the shit I actually want to do, because now the car yards are one of them things. It's like, if you get them, you've only got until you say your first no. Like, they go, we've got something for you, can you do it? The very first time I said no, I said, like, I can't do it, I'm moving shops. Never saw another car.
No loyalty there.
No. Oh, fuck no. No, but you go into it knowing that, right?
Yeah.
So I was just doing their stuff solid for 12 months, and I was like, all right, well, if I'm going to get the rest of the shit that I want to do, because it was not that I wanted to have this kind of thing going on. It was I wanted to build something for me. Like, I wanted another truck, and I think I paid like $4,000 for an old extra cab Hilux style side. Ended up like full doing a Raptor respray on it, because at some point during that first 6 months I'd added like the underbody rust proofing to it. The first 3 I did on the ground. I just rolled the front wheels up on a ramp, and I was on a trolley on the ground rolling around on my back doing underbodies. So I took the first few of them and bought a hoist, and then so now I'm doing underbodies, and someone approached me about doing a tub line, and I was like, well, I used Raptor up the coast, and so I reached out to them. They put me onto one of the suppliers down here. So now I'm doing tub liners, and I'm like, all right, well, I wouldn't mind doing a build for me. So it was like the obvious choice was Raptoring something, because you can buy it cheap if the paint's rooted, and you're going to Raptor it, so it doesn't matter. And just started off with that. It's up there somewhere. I know it is. There it is, the bottom row, third in from the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it N60?
I don't know. I can't fucking never remember those things. But that was just a bit of fun. Like, I wasn't doing the 79 bonnets then, so it's got like a reverse cow Camaro scoop on it, and just to give this bonnet a bit of shape. And, did all the interior. That's the bloody Auto Technica seats, that bottom row as well.
Oh, yeah.
It was a manual, and it was just a bit of fun. And then it was like, I think including buying it, I might have had, I don't know, $8,000 in it, $8,500 with a set of wheels and tires, and it's a torsion bar front, so you just wind them up and put some, not a lot, not overly expensive. And I wanted to do get into that extra area of the shop, so I was like, fuck it, I'll sell this, and if I got to build another one, I will. And I think the first bloke that looked at it gave me $15,000 for it, and I was like, fuck, that made money. Okay, that's different. So that then snowballed as well. That was never meant to be a thing, and then it became buy, build, and sell. The shit side of that is that I haven't owned a car for more than about 3 months in like 5 years. But
So how many cars did you build and sell?
half that wall, and lots that didn't make it. There was a lot of stuff that we did in Navara ages ago. I think I paid like $5,500 for this old thing. Did a respray, put a set of wheels and tires on it, got a King's dual cab roof rack, made some mounts and turned it into a tub rack, and I think I sold that for about $15,000. Like, it was just that was never really going to be a one that I would drive for a while. It was like, that was just a buy, build, sell. So it's, most of the time it's usually when I've got an idea in my head now that I've waited for someone to ask me to do, but it hasn't happened, and I just get the shits with it, so I'll buy what I want and I'll build it. Because it's interesting with some of the stuff I do, I'll have someone that'll buy it and go, I never would have asked for this, but seeing it done, I want it. So it's like this whole other area that's not, because Ruben from DMW's come down, obviously, creative conversions is just around the corner. So you see a lot of that new stuff, but it's a lot of it's copy and paste. I like to try and come up with something different, or I'll have an idea wherever it's come from, and I just need to implement it. So waiting for someone to come after a while, I get the shits and I'll just buy one and do it. And for the most part, it's been successful. The only drama with my stuff is that because I haven't done it before, There's no templates on some of the stuff I do. So if you were to repeat it, fine, you'd make good money. But because parts of it I've never done before, I get to the end of it, I'm like, technically on what I've actually outlaid, I've made money. But if you were to count the hours, I've gone so far backwards, you know, but it's all part of the fun, you know.
Yeah.
Gets little bits and pieces out there that otherwise wouldn't be. But yeah, I don't know. I'd still like to work out how to get into more of the stuff that we can produce that's not me just hourly, you know. But then that means I've got to run it or I've got to have staff again, and it's like that's a whole other fucking can of worms. How's your drink? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
You good? Do you want another beer?
Yeah, if you're having one, I'll go.
Do you want a travel or do you want to? What do you want?
Oh, yeah, I'll have one of these Coronas.
Coronas. Oh,
That's what you got there, don't you?
sacrilege.
Oh, no, that's just what the...
That's just
That's
a
what the bucket says.
Well, when Great Northern brings out a fucking bucket, it'll be a Great Northern bucket. Give us your. Have you got a cooler?
Yes. Thank you.
No worries. Oh, that's another one too. We got the Emu Wing boys on now.
Oh, Rod from Emu Wing.
Yeah.
He's just around the corner from us.
Yeah, he's flying up at some point to.
Is he really?
That's what he reckons.
He's going to come on the podcast.
Yeah, he's coming up to film installing a set for an 80 series. That was supposed to happen months and months ago, but the Brendan from New Wave Care, it's for him. So we've done a set of methods, a set of Yokohamas. I'm modifying the rear swing away spare wheel carrier for it, set of Emu Wings, but he had. Not that I would say it anyway, because I don't like stirring too much shit, but he had that in a mechanic shop and had all kinds of fucking dramas. I think it was back there 3 or 4 times. I think at one point, whatever they'd done caused some sort of catastrophic engine failure, and it was just a shit fight. So every time it was booked to come down, he either wouldn't get it back or he got it back, and within a day, it's rooted again. So back it'd go. So it's been put off several times, but we've got to line it up to have it here. And Rod's going to come up and fit it for us. We'll film that and get a bit of a. He's done a lot of how-to stuff on them anyway, I've fitted several of them. But I'm like, if you want to come up and do a podcast, because I love. It's the same sort of thing with you guys, like the story, and which is one of the things I was going to ask next. It's like where did it come from? Where is it at? Where's it heading? What's been the challenges? What's stuff that you've gone, fuck, didn't see that coming? So, and again, Australian company in the industry that we love. And it's like, yeah, he said he'd come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice bloke. Yeah.
Yeah.
His factory's just around the corner from ours.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
G'day legends. To help support the brands and support us, get onto our website and check out who we've chosen to partner with. For everything custom 4x4 and accessories, visit wildsidegarage.com. While you're there, don't forget to check the links for the discount section, where you can get 10% off brands like Carbon Off-Road, MAXTRAX, and in-house fabrication. Remember to like and subscribe to help us grow the channel and bring you even more from Wildside.
So what is it for you guys? What came up that you went? What was some of the challenges that you maybe weren't expecting?
That's a bloody good question.
That's a good question. While you think about that, I'm not going to spoil the thing for Rod, but ask him about his custom tooling and how he makes them. He'll probably be a bit secretive about it, but where we've gone down the pathway of CNC, laser cutting, everything precise and measured, probably because that's kind of, that's how I think, and I guess Jason thinks that way as well. But Rod's gone the other way. It's very manual. So I'm not going to spill anything out because I think he's a little bit secretive about the way he's done it, but maybe he'll be willing to tell you some things about it. Yeah, that'll be an interesting story.
So tooling.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The way he makes his Emu Wings is quite interesting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did we run into? I guess we haven't had any big problems because we've just... Well, here's the other thing. We ramped up really slowly.
Yeah.
So our very first set of seat adapters for Land Cruisers, $300 worth of brackets from the laser cutter.
Yep.
And just paid for that with money that I had in the bank.
Yep.
And then everything was built off that.
Yep.
So for the first 5 years or so, until we bought our factory, we didn't have any debt. We built everything off the last sale that we made.
Yes.
Which meant that it was very slow growth.
Yeah.
But it was continual and we didn't hit any massive, road bumps.
Yeah, no, it's the same here. I've said it several times. Like, I don't even have a credit card.
Yep.
It's like if I need a Kit Raptor or like whatever, it's ring up, order it, paid for.
Yep.
The only bills we get is rent and electricity.
Yep.
Because it's just, I can't. Especially now, if I was getting bills and I was juggling what account was where, and that would end badly very quickly.
Yep.
But yeah, it is. It's a lot slower burn.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
So you think about it, you're like, oh, geez, if we had a bit of money, we could get to where we are now in a third of the time. But would you have made the right decisions along the way?
Yeah.
You could just crash and burn. Which a lot of businesses do, right? Like, what is it?
Well, a lot of stuff.
50% in the first few years or something.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff outside of our industry shut, during COVID. There's probably a lot that benefited from it. Come in like a Raptor's a big one. Like there's in and around Brisbane, there's probably got to have been 7 or 8 of them over the last few years that they pop up. They'll do shit work for 6 or 12 months, and then once the work starts coming back, they disappear.
Right.
So there's probably a lot of that in and around the industry because people were spending so much money. It was like it probably would have been pretty easy to rent a shed and slap some paint around. And we had one come down here. Was a Triton too. And the young bloke went to somebody, and the rubber between the flare and the guard, they just painted over the whole thing.
Right.
And it's like in a week or 2 weeks, whatever it had been, just because of the movement, it's all cracked and flaking away and stuff like that. It's like, they disappeared. That was one of them. But yeah, there's a lot of fly-by-nighters in stuff that's labor intensive. Like your stuff's very heavily tooling and equipment intensive.
Yeah,
so
and machinery.
That's definitely, you probably experience that a lot less. But in ours, my side of it, where it's very labor intensive, there's a lot of fly-by-nighters. They come and go.
Yeah, right.
But is that something that worries you guys about? People buying your shit and pinching the idea and.
We've come across a few.
Yeah.
Look, it's difficult how you take it, right? And we've both had the emotional reaction and the gamut from I don't care anymore to taking it personally.
Yeah.
Because, it can be flattering.
Yeah. They reckon it's the ultimate form of flattery.
Yeah. But
copying.
then, people are taking food out of your mouth essentially as well,
Yeah.
I've got no problems if someone wants to design something and put an XR seat in their car.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's how we started.
Yeah.
You want to sit down with a bit of paper, a tape measure and a pencil and do it for yourself, go for it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me for a tip.
Yeah.
How I did it.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it for yourself, you want to do it for your mates, go for it. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
But we had one person in Melbourne who went and bought a whole range of our seat adapter kits and just started blatantly copying them and selling them on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow.
And didn't hide the fact, couldn't have cared less.
Yeah, right.
Couldn't have cared less, and...
How do you get rid of that? Does it just fizzle out or?
There's not a lot you can do about it.
Yeah.
We've had a couple over the years, and we've handled them all in different ways.
Yeah.
There was one guy that was just posting shit all over Instagram, flaunting it, didn't hide the fact at all.
Yeah.
Posting photos of adapter kits that he'd gotten one of ours and stuck it on a piece of paper and traced it exactly.
Wow.
And had a whole heap laser cut. And
Yeah.
that was a little too far.
But even if they do that, though, they can't then have all the regulations that you guys have with your paperwork and shit either.
No, because there's also the material that it's made from.
For sure.
Yeah, so we don't use standard mild steel to make our adapters.
No, I wouldn't think you do.
So if your mate buys a set of our adapters and you stick it out on a sheet of mild steel and cut it out and put it into your whatever car, it's not the same.
No.
We specifically order a particular type of mild steel, so our adapters plates can be a little thinner.
Yeah.
We've also had other shops handing out our engineering paperwork
Oh, really?
Yeah.
with
their own.
copied adapter kits.
Right. How the hell did? So
We can't do anything to stop that.
Right.
But if someone gets injured, I'm guessing someone's getting more than a slap on the back of the wrist for
shit,
that.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
especially when they're handing out our testing paperwork,
Yeah.
saying that this is a kit from Huracan Fabrication,
Yeah.
and it's not.
I remember years ago in the old shop, we did a custom front bar for, I think it was an FJ40. And the guy basically, because it was the old X-Rocks bars, and the guy was like, he bought this thing, bolted it up, didn't like the way it sat or whatever. And I've used a heap of X-Rocks bars over the years, but because the wings bolt on, he goes, can you piss these wings off, and can you make me something that's the outer edge so it sits, because the gap between the front of the FJ40 guard and where the wing was like 6 inches or something. He goes, I want it to kick up on like a 45 and fill that gap a bit more. He goes, can you make this and weld it on and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, look, I can, but it's no longer an X-Rocks bar, and I'll be taking that sticker that they put on the bar, I guess it's an ADR sticker. I'll be taking that off, and your receipt's going to say not recommended for street use. And he was fine. It was all good, no dramas. But not long after that, I saw it at a car show, and he'd obviously gotten in touch with someone over there and ordered another sticker. And it was like, again, my ass was covered. All my paperwork said not recommended for street use. I took the sticker off. I know we had a photo of it done because you just take a heap of photos at the front of the shop. But yeah, it's like you can't fix stupid.
No.
So and at least that's an FJ40. It's like, that's not a seatbelt. That's a car that has all the aerodynamic nature of a brick. So bit of a different scenario. But yeah, I get the concept of people just thinking, oh yeah, no, it'll be all right. Steel.
Yeah.
It's just not.
We had one bloke, early days, I don't know what he was thinking, but he'd plasma torched a seat bracket out of what looked like aluminium, and he'd actually plasma torched halfway through the middle of the bracket as well.
Oh, shit.
Took some dodgy photo,
Yeah.
put it up on Marketplace, and was going to offer, to cut you out
Yeah.
brackets for your car.
That's the thing, though. It's not like you're just selling these things for $2,000 and
No.
at a cost of $100, and people are like, "Oh yeah, there's heaps of room in there for me." It's like by the time you've cut them out, packaged them, powder coated them, all
Shipped. Our seat adapters are free shipping.
shipped, all the hardware. It's like for them to come in and go, "Oh, I can do this and be cheaper and take your customers." It's like, how much cheaper are they going to fucking be? Like,
Yeah,
it can't be much.
How cheap do you want to go on something that holds your seat in?
But that's what I mean. Like, you got to sit there and go, all right, so they're not going to get, their unit price isn't going to be as good as yours because you're mass producing them. So it's going to cost them more to do it. And that's eaten into the profit that would be there. And if they're going to sell it cheaper than you, then that's eaten into it even more. It's like, how much work do you want to do for $50?
Yeah, exactly. I think we've always been reasonable with our pricing. We make a good quality kit.
Yeah.
It fits.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. You buy so many things online and they class them as universal, which everyone knows doesn't really fit anything.
Well, if it's, if it's a universal kit in your situation, it's going to have that many fucking holes in it.
Exactly.
I don't know how strong it's going to be.
There's plenty of them on eBay though. If you Google, universal seat adapter, you'll just find a Swiss cheese looking plate.
Yeah,
and
right,
they're just kind of crossing their fingers that some holes will line up for you.
Yeah, right, okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that, people.
No, not recommended.
But yeah, so the challenges for you guys, obviously, people ripping your shit off, that's one. But and did you say you've bought your building?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because that was, Jason calls it a COVID special, but everything was a bit crazy at that point. This was very early on, I think 2020, so during the first year.
Yeah.
And we were in a position, because things were going well, that we could buy, which was fortunate for us.
That's awesome.
And property prices took a bit of a dive as well
Yeah.
early on. interest rates dropped to the floor.
Yeah.
So it just worked out to be a good time.
Well, this factory that we bought had actually been sold twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like deposits.
Yeah. Some guy
Oh,
paid
yeah.
a deposit,
Yeah.
backed out at the last moment. Someone else agreed to buy it, couldn't get the finance.
Yeah.
We walked in with some really heavy negotiation
Yeah,
at the end, and just beat them down even more. And
Yeah.
because I love real estate agents, by the way. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I spent a little bit of time in real estate. I went out to try and learn, the like marketing and networking and all that sort of stuff. Probably spent a bit too long in there. It was, it was a bit of fun.
This real estate agent we had, we reckon he ended up playing us at the end because he rolled up in some soccer mum minivan when we were first doing the deal. So we thought, geez, this bloke mustn't be a very good agent. Then once the deal was done, would he rock up in?
Oh, I don't know, some brand new Mercedes or something like that. Yeah.
I had a different approach to mine. I had a ED XR8.
Okay.
And I was like full 3-piece suit, but I rocked up in an ED XR8 manual black one, slammed on its ass, BA bonnet bulge in it, copper replica wheels. You could hear the thing a mile away.
Yeah.
And it worked perfectly because it just broke barriers.
Yep.
People would be like, you'd see that pull up and then you get out in this 3-piece suit and be like, what the fuck? But it was a lot of fun to test theories on, communicating with people and, building rapport and all that sort of stuff. I had a blast doing it.
Yeah.
Not something I'd want to do like as a, forever career, but it was fun while I did it, But that's awesome that you bought it. That's great. Because Victoria had like a shit ton of people leave, eh? Well, I mean, there was Queensland got flooded, so they come from somewhere. But
You're saying Victoria's shit, mate.
no, well, you guys had like the most restrictions.
We did, yeah. We were
Throughout
like the
COVID,
most locked down city in the world, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Look, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. There was an element of mental health that went along with it.
Yeah.
I know, especially for myself, we all fucking hate being told what we can't do, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as they tell you can't go any more than 5 k's from your house, well, what's the first thing you want to fucking do?
Oh, yeah. Take a road
All
trip.
of a sudden, you want to go for a drive, don't
Yeah,
you? Like, if they didn't tell you couldn't leave, you don't want to go for a drive.
Yep.
But they came up with all these crazy things, and I'm not saying it was good, I'm not saying it was bad, and I'm not saying it was wrong or it was right, but sometimes it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough. Yeah.
We never shut for a single day.
Well,
I didn't stop doing shit.
That's the thing, right? Like, the headline that you hear is that, Melbourne was the most locked down city. I think that was true up until the end of, Australian COVID restrictions, because China continued it for another 2 years or something after us. But
Really?
they continued doing lockdowns for ages,
Wow, okay.
ages and ages after, and then they realised it just wasn't possible once they, went back to normal trade. But we also never missed a day of work in the most locked down city in the world. So there were lockdowns, but it was like you can still go to work if you fall into these categories.
We were able to keep working. I went through a roadblock one morning.
Yeah.
Pulled over, they were pulling all the cars over, and he says to me, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to work."
Yeah.
He goes to me, "What's work?" And I just stood there and I looked at him and I go, "It's a place where I go and I earn money."
Yeah. Nice.
He's like, "No, mate, what do you do for work? Get out of here."
Yeah, I don't think. Did you ever go through a roadblock up here? No, I never went through one either.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of them.
I didn't. It's because you lived like on the boundary of
Yeah,
metro and regional, where
Right.
regional Victoria didn't have anywhere near as many restrictions as metro Melbourne.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
They had
sense.
the big ones for the border.
Yeah, I never went down.
Queensland, New South border.
Yeah, no crossing borders. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I never.
that sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's people with like family that get Tweed over south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was it because we go down to Cooley every now and then. But you got for the car shows and that, but you got Twin Towns there, and I'm pretty sure the hotel, whatever it's called, resort. It's got a line in the street, and there's 2 sets of steps, and it goes, and you're like Queensland, New South Wales, like right smack bang in the middle. The fucking thing's right in the middle of it. Like I don't know how they would have dealt with that because that's like a city on the border.
Yeah, well, there's like kids who were lived at the Tweed, but yet they went to school in Queensland.
Oh, wow.
And so on and so forth. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, I think that was fun for a lot of those people.
It
Well,
was,
yeah.
yeah. Well, didn't your sister live in a border town?
Cousin.
Cousin?
My wife's cousin lived in a border town. Yeah.
Echukamawama?
Yeah.
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 How'd they manage it?
Oh, she complains about a lot of stuff normally anyway, so.
All right. Well, I mean, it's good. It's good that you got through it because that would have been a run that you wouldn't have wanted to miss because it was automotive went stupid. So
It did. Yeah, I think it was good for Australian manufacturing overall. I mean, at that time, that's when we bought our press brake, and it used to be pre-COVID. You could walk into any supplier who sold press brakes, and you could have one delivered next week.
Yeah.
There was like a 9-month wait because so much manufacturing came back to Australia during that period,
Right. Yeah.
and so everyone was trying to buy equipment, laser
Yeah.
cutters, press brakes, all those sorts of things because manufacturing was popping off.
Yeah.
There were so many delays of getting stuff out of China. So
Yeah, of course, China was very strict as well. So shipping, just all sorts of issues.
As far as shipping goes, you guys are sending stuff everywhere. Do you have a base in the States or?
Well, this is an interesting story. So,
Okay.
I can't say what I really want to say.
Go on. You know you want to.
Pack and send. So
Right.
we were using pack and send to send things to America.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're familiar with it. There's I Hate Mud, fantastic Land Cruiser forum.
Right.
In the USA.
It's worldwide, but yeah, it's based a lot in the USA.
Right.
A lot of repair information, mods, all that sort of stuff. It was great. Got a lot of turbo information and stuff off there for petrol 80 series, and
Yeah.
it was awesome. And we set up some group buys, and we'd send all these 80 series and 100 series tailgate storages over to America.
Yeah.
20, 30 at a time. All the packages were exactly the same. They all weighed exactly the same.
Yeah.
And because we were doing a discount, with the group buy, margins were a little thinner.
Yeah.
Unless you're spending big dollars, DHL and all that sort of stuff won't give you an account.
Right.
So we were using a independent third-party booking website.
Yeah.
And it's like a month and a bit after everything had shipped, on a Sunday night, you start getting emails, extra charge. We could get 20 of them, $20 here, $30 there. Oh, that one was a little bit heavier than what you said it was. That one was a little bit bigger than what you said it was. And we're like, God damn it, they were all the same weight and size. It was all the same product.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not us. It's DHL. DHL run it through their fancy laser scanner machine, and if a little bit of tape's hanging off, they'll cube it up and it's a bit bigger. So,
Fix your machine. I'm not paying for that shit.
And look, it really did eat into profits. These are early days,
Yeah.
And Rhys came up with the idea where we were going to videotape everything and stick it on YouTube
Yeah.
and make it private.
Yeah, just unlisted or something. Yeah, private.
Yeah. So
Date stamped.
it was, date and time stamped. And
Yeah.
we were measuring everything, weighing everything, and sticking a label on it and making sure that was in the video.
Right.
So a month and a half later, extra charge.
Yeah.
Put in our complaint. Oh, we'll see what we can do, bit of sticky tape here and there. This one, if maybe one package was resting on another one, that first one would weigh a bit more. And, it's not us. It's
Yeah.
not us. It's DHL.
Right.
Or what was the other? UPS or whoever they were
They
using.
claimed,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd send them the video. Here you go. And that wasn't always enough to get us our refund of these extra charges.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, it was as frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
Frustrating as hell. And like when it's unjust, like if the package weighed that much and it was that size and that was the charge, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
We weren't trying to short the system.
No.
We declared it correctly.
Yeah.
It was just they just want to screw you a bit.
Yeah.
I
Right.
reckon. Anyway. So we decided we had to come up with another way, another idea. So Rhys set about looking for companies over in America that could laser cut our designs for us, fold them, weld them,
Yep.
that sort of thing. And he came across a company in Texas,
Right.
who we've been dealing with ever since.
Okay.
And they're amazing. They're so great. We've even been over there to visit them and that sort of stuff. And yeah, we'd place an order with them. They would laser cut and powder coat our whole order of 50 or 70 or however many, and
Yeah.
they'd stick them aside. And then as orders came in, they'd ship them out for us.
Yep.
And instead of billing us for those 50 that we had made, they would just bill us for that one as we shipped it out.
Right.
So they were carrying our debt for us for
Yeah.
however long it took. And we even said, look, just bill us for that order. Like, we'll pay for it.
Yeah.
No, this is the way we want to do it. So
So you almost got like a consignment on your own product in someone else's shop.
it,
That's fucking awesome.
it was
exactly right.
crazy.
We never asked for
It
it.
was
Yeah, it's
crazy. So they wanted to use their own, what was the transport company we use over there?
UPS.
UPS.
Right.
So they wanted to use their own UPS, and they were going to charge us some exorbitant fee to ship every one of them.
Yeah.
And Rhys backdoored some UPS account through PayPal or some shit. Because
Yeah.
if you don't live in America, you can't have a UPS account.
Right.
And he shanked one somehow, signing up to some third-party Shippo website or
Shippo.
something. And
Yeah.
as we're trying to nut out all the nuts and bolts of this, he was sitting at the computer and he's like, hang on a minute, I think we've already got a UPS account.
Right.
And I'm like, you're shitting me. He's like, no. It's a quick search back through the emails. We had a UPS account. So,
Wow.
yeah, they ended up booking it on our UPS account, so we weren't paying that $20, $30 surcharge for everyone that we sent out as well.
Yeah.
And it's worked great. It's worked amazing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they're a huge manufacturing company over there. They're massive.
Yeah.
And yeah, they've been great to us. Nothing's ever a problem. Yeah, it's just been a great partnership.
I find it interesting, and I think I've said this to a few different people. Pardon me. Stephen at In-House Fabrication, who does all our snorkels and that, and he ships stuff all over the world. James at Pirate, they're shipping stuff everywhere. I get some people's hesitancy to copy stuff locally because it's like, I mean, obviously, clearly it still happens, but I kind of get that locally. But when something lands over in the States, that surprises me that someone hasn't gone, where are these guys based? Australia? Fuck, I'm copying this.
Well, look, you got to remember, Wagon Gear were already making a product like this.
True.
Before we even started.
Yeah.
And they're not the only one. There's another South African company, and I think there's a couple of other small companies that popped up from time to time in the US. But back to what I said before, we sat down with a bit of paper, a pen, and a tape measure,
Yeah.
and we thought, how are we going to make this?
Yeah.
We didn't go, oh, fucking, we'll just buy one,
Yeah.
send it to China and have it copied.
Yeah.
Or we'll send it back here and then we'll just make a direct copy of it.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, we didn't even want to know how they did it.
Yeah.
We didn't know what they were making it out of, how thick they were making it, what they did to stop the door from falling through,
Yeah.
whatever. We didn't care. We didn't want to copy it.
Yeah.
We had an idea. We wanted to build it to a price.
Yeah.
Back to that whole, we had to build everything for ourselves because we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
It is built to a price. It's built to function well.
Yeah. Hey, look, I've installed them. That last one we did on that BT50, that sort of twisted my head a little bit. But, but that's what happens when somebody orders one and then they get stuck because they don't know what they're doing and they think they've got the right thing and you got to think on your feet. But that's where everything up until that point, it was like, yep, another storage system until I found a problem. Then I'm like,
Yeah.
how the fuck am I going to fix this? That's where I kind of was like, all right, here we go. What are we going to do here?
Put your
Why
fixing
isn't
cap
this
on.
fitting? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, they're a great product, and I mean for the point that they're made, they're awesome. You sit there and you say like, oh, they're made to a price. I don't know what you would change that would be like better. I think it's just fucking great value. I wouldn't say it doesn't seem like there's any part of it that's made to a price. You know, making use of that area. It's like it's powder coated. It's all the hardware's comes with it. Like it's pretty self-explanatory, unless you're a 200 series owner.
Well.
You know, but I think it's a great product.
Yeah, look, we definitely try to aim for do it yourself.
Yeah.
It's our background. That's where we came from. You know,
Yeah.
it's what we've always done.
But you said before, you've got fitters all around the place.
Yeah,
so-
we do. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they'll supply the retail and do the job fitting it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you don't live near a retailer, any competent four-wheel drive store can install it for you. That's got a workshop as well.
Yeah. Do you guys actively go out and seek to expand that base, like that range of installers, or
No.
Okay.
We have been looking
There
for
you go.
people with seats for our seats because it is a relatively new product.
Yeah.
We've been a little bit more picky and fussy there.
There's an 80 series out there. But yeah.
We want to obviously not all workshops have a showroom area.
No.
So obviously the seats are pretty to look at.
Yeah.
We want them out on display.
Yeah.
So we want a place that's got a nice showroom area that's
Yeah.
also got a workshop that can fit them if the customer wants
Yeah.
to go down that route.
Yeah.
So
Do you the seats? Are they like the storage drawers? Are they? You finding they're more DIY? People are ordering them and they're just obviously dealing with them themselves, or
yeah, look, if anyone's fitted one of our kits for an XR6 seat,
Yeah.
they can fit our premium touring seats.
right?
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, no cutting, welding, or drilling
Yeah.
in most cases.
Yeah.
I think the 80 series, you just have to notch a little bracket
Sometimes.
in one corner
Yeah.
in 50% of the cases, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, there is no drilling or welding.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Oh, well, you got a fair few markers up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, over in New Zealand. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so we've got a great guy that Rhys found in Europe as well.
Okay.
Keep forgetting what country he's from.
He's in the Netherlands.
He's in the Netherlands. So,
Right.
yeah, we ship a bit of stuff over to him. From our understanding, he's got a wholesale distribution network over there for four-wheel drive parts.
Okay. That's cool.
And, yeah, any inquiries we get over that way, we flick through to him. And
Do you get people? Is there anything that you get inquiry on that you're not doing yet that you're like, "Fuck, we really need to?
all the time.
Yeah.
There's not enough hours in the day.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Rhys said before, we've got this huge list of stuff we'd like to do. So,
Yeah. What's the weirdest inquiry you've got? Like the most random kind of vehicle that you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Oh, we get things all the time. Like, I've got a 1994 Peugeot something or other, and I want to put BMW X5 seats in. Do you have an adapter? And it's just like, no, we don't have an adapter for that combination.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like they're surprised that we don't have an adapter for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's just a combination that you see everywhere.
Yeah, it's just this random combination of cars and seats, and they're just like, yeah, can I have something bolt in, please?
Yeah, right. What about the American stuff? You getting into that, or
Yes, look, that's been a focus of ours for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and we've always got grand plans, and there's always something that comes along and beats us down and slows the process up. So we're closer than ever.
Yeah.
The thermoform boxes I told you about before, that's the key to success.
Right.
Making those in bulk, shipping them directly to the US. The lids themselves, which are steel, they will probably be made in the US at
By
this
your other
Texas
guys?
facility.
Yep.
That we talked about, and then shipped directly out to customers from there. So that is a huge market. The US is like 30 times the population of Australia.
for sure?
The exchange rate's good. There's millions. Like, I mean, I think Ford sells 1 million F-150s every year. That's
Wow.
It's more than all the utes in Australia, right?
Yeah, right.
At least all the utes that would be compatible with our tailgate storage. So it's an absolutely enormous market, but it's there's been a lot of roadblocks with that, and they're all boring things. It's not worth me going into here, but it's just
Right.
logistics and shipping costs and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The length of the product and things like that, because they're like 1.7 meters long, so the shipping's really expensive. And
Yeah, because you're over a pallet and like
Yeah.
way over a pallet.
yeah, and it's even sort of a bit beyond like what people can comfortably lift. They're sort of 27 kilos and 1.7 long. It's not comfortable to pick stuff like that up.
You can't lift 27 kilos. Like, that's a bit of a, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
they sting you for the shipping.
Yeah, that's right. It's very expensive to do it. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've got all that sorted out now. So hopefully this year is going to be the year for us that we really break into the US market.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What about the like barn door fall drives? You got anything for that sort of stuff on the agenda?
No, we've been asked about it before. Drop
Yeah.
down tables, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people doing it already,
Yeah.
and it just goes back to what Jason said before. It's the list.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we could do it, but there's one other thing, and we've got things that we're good at, and specifically that seat adapters, seats, and tailgate storage units.
Yeah.
And that's where our expertise is, and we sort of there's more space to crack into that market, like I
Yeah.
said, especially in the US.
For sure.
So we need to exploit that first before we try go wandering into other,
Yeah,
products
yeah.
that we don't really have expertise into, although we've
No.
done it a bunch of times, where we have just started walking down another path going, oh, hold on, we didn't finish going down that path yet.
Yeah.
We should probably tie that off before we move on.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. God, there's so many different things I want to ask, but it's like you kind of already answered them. It's probably all going to be stuff on your list.
Can we talk more about our trip we did to America?
You can, yes. What happened? What happened with that? When were you over there?
22. No, it must have been later than that, 23.
Yeah, 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 25. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, we wanted to. I personally had never been to America.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of America.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought this up. We spoke about this on the phone. Yes.
While I was looking at the Google Maps, Gas Monkey Garage pops up.
Yes.
And turns out it was just up the road. Well, it was all, CBD sort of area. There was the metal fabricator who was making our tailgate storage,
Yeah.
our accommodation,
Yeah.
yada, 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 Gas Monkey Garage.
Right.
Been a fan of the show and what they did there. We popped up there for a visit.
Yeah.
Sadly, the workshop was closed
And
no one else was there, but their merchandise store was open. So,
Right.
yeah, that was a bit of an experience. We like that.
yeah, I can't. I want to go over there. I want to line up some like bucket list places like Gas Monkey. I want to go and I want to see Foos Designed.
Yeah, where's that? Is that in Tennessee?
It's Long Beach. No, that was
that's Kelly.
Long Beach was West Coast Choppers. That's going to annoy me. Google that. Where is Foos Design?
So America's a very interesting place.
Yes.
It's a very interesting place. So we flew into Texas. From Texas, we flew to Detroit.
Yep.
That was very different.
Right.
And from Detroit, we drove to Kentucky.
Tennessee.
Yep.
We drove through Kentucky.
Right.
We did.
So yeah, we went down to Tennessee and we spent the day there, and we did that other show that we talked about before.
Yep.
And I was glad to come home.
Right.
I was glad to come home. It was very different.
Don't they love Aussies over there?
Look,
They do, yeah. Someone bought us a drink in the bar.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. We pulled into town in
Ohio.
Ohio late one night.
Yeah.
They got great accents. You could just talk to them for ages.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because, and they feel the same way. They ended up buying us a couple of drinks each and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a little confronting when you go to walk into an establishment in Texas and there's a sign on the front of the door that says you can't bring your handgun in here.
Yeah.
Or some that said you can. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you talk to some of the other locals and, like they'll drive around with it in their center console.
Right. We got the old trucks with it hanging on the rear window.
Oh, we're talking more about handguns.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Like, just pull it out.
Well, did you experience any of that?
No. But it's a little off-putting.
Okay.
It's a little off-putting. And then getting back on the plane, coming home, I was sitting next to some slightly older retired gentleman who's coming back to Melbourne for a conference, and he said to me, "So, mate, where is it safe to go out in the city at night time?" And I just looked at him and thought, that's a really strange question to ask. I'm like, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
And he was shocked.
Right.
And it just gives you a bit of an insight into the way they think and where they live and that sort of thing. So,
and where was the because Texas is there, you know, I know I'm only subject to the bits and pieces that you hear, and my assumptions and version of what I've processed from what you hear, but it seems like Texas is they're very, very nobody's worried about guns. They're everywhere. Like it's like
they're very pro gun.
Yeah.
Very, very, very pro gun.
Yeah. Is that where you were experiencing the most sort of vibe of that, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not something that you see, but if you look around, like it's there.
Yeah. Right.
And I guess not growing up in that culture,
Yeah.
it's hard to know how to feel or how you should be.
Yeah.
Are you safe?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that there's like at least a little bit of like a, you know, that kind of mob mentality. It's like nobody else cares. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
like it's
One example of when that really came into play for me is we got to Detroit quite late because when we were coming back from our road trip from Tennessee, and I couldn't make sense of the Airbnb instructions on how to get into the house. It was like this 2-story house, but the upper story was somebody else's house.
Right.
Right. So we got there. I couldn't figure out how to get in the bottom, and I thought, oh, maybe we're actually upstairs. So I went upstairs, and the lights were on, and there was music in there. So I knew someone was in there, and
Yeah.
it wasn't our place. But I thought maybe they're the owner. I'll knock on it, and I'll ask for the instructions.
Yeah.
And as I went to knock, I'm like, what if they think I'm trying to break in and they shoot me through the door?
yeah.
You know, like it's just a thought that would never cross my mind in Australia. But
Yeah.
here in Detroit, I'm like, I could get shot knocking on the door here. Like you hear about these stories from time to time. Someone's car breaks down, they walk up to the front of some house to ask for help. This person thinks they're breaking in,
Yeah.
and they get shot.
Yeah, right. I've really never given that any kind of thought.
Yeah.
Like,
But that literally went through my mind as I was knocking. And I ended up knocking, and no one came to the door, so we ended
didn't
up
get
finding
any
our way in.
help.
yeah, right.
But it's just little things like that.
Look, I loved America. It's a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
I'd go back again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's just very, very different. Very different.
I think because I mean I've never been there, so I just have TV, movies,
Yeah.
you know, like whatever other platform of, you know, information that feeds down, and but see, my whole side of that thing with guns too is I want to go over there because I want to go and shoot some cool shit.
Yeah.
Well, you can.
Yeah, we
You
did
know
that
what
in
I mean?
Texas,
Like,
yeah.
so I'm kind of like,
Yeah, you can.
I'd be like, where are the guns? Like,
Yeah.
where the fuck do we go? You know?
We did. There's a great gun range there.
Yeah.
Or it's a gun shop.
What is it?
Right.
We
They-
walked
they got-
in.
Yeah,
checks.
yeah.
They gave us World War II German machine guns. What was the bipod mounted one?
An M249.
M24. And they
Right.
just straight to the shooting range, and off you go. Start putting lead down range.
Pay your
You know,
money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
No.
Well, because that's the only drama too. Because when we go over there, we only got half the money.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
0.6 or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
But is it okay? So if we take, you know, I don't know, pick a number. Like, what's a large Big Mac meal here is probably $8. I don't know, $9. So you go over there and you've got $6. But is the large Big Mac meal $6, or is it?
I think it worked out being a little bit more than like what the exchange rate was. So yeah, it was
Right.
cheaper.
Yeah.
You weren't paying as many dollars
Yeah.
for it, but by the time you took the exchange rate into account, it still cost a little bit more.
Okay.
The other thing is most prices you see advertised don't include tax.
Okay.
And if you're at a restaurant, they also don't include tips, which is now
Yeah, what's
like
the rule with
20%.
that? 20%.
Yeah, but it's not a rule though. Like it's because it's a culture, right?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to tip 20%.
Yeah.
But you're not breaking the law if you don't tip that. But it's
Yeah.
obviously not a good thing to do.
No.
But yeah, so you get your tip, and then so you get your bill, then you got to work out the tip at the end, and by the time you work it out, you go, gee, that wasn't cheap.
Yeah, it adds up.
Yeah.
But if you ever do go over there,
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you hear about
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A all the time. That's
Oh my
apparently like the
God.
best chicken ever.
I think
Chick-fil-A.
it's only in Texas. I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Just
I think
don't go on a
Whataburger.
Sunday because they're not open.
Right. They don't have Sunday trading over there, and like,
No, Chick-fil-A doesn't have Sunday.
The owner's very religious of Chick-fil-A.
right,
He wants his staff to go to church on a Sunday. That's not a joke. That's legit.
right. That's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, great food at Chick-fil-A.
Is it? What is it like our KFC? Or they got KFC anyway, don't they?
Yeah,
they
KFC,
do.
yeah.
It's like a fancy KFC. I don't think they serve alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah. It
Homemade lemonade though. That was delicious.
Oh, yeah, their lemonade's not like lemonade here. Yeah.
Right.
It's not fizzy for one.
Yeah,
thing.
it's like lemonade that kids would sell at a lemonade stand. you
Okay.
know? Yeah.
So like actual proper squeezed
proper-
lemons
yeah.
and all the shit.
Yeah, basically
right.
squeezed lemons and tons of sugar to make it taste good.
Yeah, right. Wow, you know. And they're a bit different over there with their alcohol too. Like you can't. There's lots of places because sometimes I'll get like a I don't know, a Jack, like a straight Jack or something like that, and they won't. Most places won't do a double shot for you. You got to buy two, and then you just walk away and pour it in and fuck that glass off, and you're all good. But like they seem to free pour stuff, or is that just movie shit?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I did have Jack Daniels in Tennessee because the guys that we did the show with when we were over there, they took us out for lunch afterwards.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm in Tennessee. I've got to have Jack Daniels.
Gotta have Jack, yeah.
So they just kept buying. I think the first one was all right. And then after the second one, I had to give the keys to Jason because
Well, it was lunchtime.
Right. Wow. Yeah, no, that would be cool. I'd love to. Where did you find Foose? FOOSE. Designs. It's not Long Beach, but it's Huntington Beach. Don't worry about it. Found it.
in California.
I'm pretty sure Huntington Beach is in California. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's where it is. But yeah, Foose Designs. I would love to have gotten over there while Orange County Choppers was still in that big fuck off building, but they're down in Florida now. But I want to go to all the places because Orange County Choppers, so American Chopper, American Hot Rod, Boyd Coddington, he's died now, so that's all gone. But Gas Monkey Garage. If Jesse James has got West Coast Customs, I think he's got the Austin Speed Shop now. I want to go all the places back in the day that I used to watch on Discovery that made me want to do stuff. I kind of want to complete the circle and go there because it was watching. Like I already knew how to weld and I knew little bits, but when they started coming out on Discovery, I'm going to say I was 17, 18, that I just was like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. How do I do that? So yeah, I think paying a bit of tribute to what inspired me to do what I do would be an awesome trip for me. That would be a bucket list trip, going around and seeing those places. And if you line it up and you can, meet some of the people, like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't care whether they're Australian, American, wherever they're from. It's like if someone's inspired me to do something, like sitting across from the table from Ruthie.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting here going like, fuck me, that's Ruthie.
Yeah.
What am I doing having a conversation with this guy? But they're all just people, and it's like if you can get 5 minutes with them, like fuck, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool trip. But what else you got going on? You got anything else you want to cover? I don't even know how long we've been going. It's been a minute. I can't believe I've only had 2 beers. Fuck, I've had 2. Have we?
Wow.
We got when James come down, we got sauced. That was nasty. I was like, the next day I was like, I'm not 20 anymore. That was beers and Jack Daniels and cigars and shit, and I was like, all right, okay, cool. When you've been in the shed all day, sweating your ass off and missed lunch, don't do that.
Yeah.
That was a fun Uber home, that one. What else have you guys got going on? Is there anything else you got coming up that you want to talk about, or are you keeping a little bit of it quiet, or you got any other trips coming up? You're doing the 4-wheel drive show.
We are not
No,
doing the 4-wheel drive show.
A lot of people saying that this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not. What was your impression of the last one?
We've never been to one in Brisbane.
Okay,
We've only ever been to them in Melbourne.
right.
Look, it's great to get out there and talk to people,
Yeah,
obviously. But it's a lot of work.
yeah,
Rhys and I end up working like 14 days straight something like that crazy when we do the four-wheel drive show.
Yeah.
You know, there's setup before, tear down after.
Yeah, we get behind on our orders because we're not sending stuff out like we should
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, it was good at the start.
Yeah.
For
Exposure and all
yeah,
that.
exposure, brand awareness, and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not saying we would never do it again, but yeah,
I had an idea. I was talking to Leon from MAXTRAX. We were having a bit of a chinwag because he had some comments about it from last year as well, at how it's changed and evolving and stuff like that. And I said, I was like, because I can't remember what it was. I'm going to pick a number out of my ass. Let's say the 4 days cost him $50,000, right? So I was like, in a big double bay like that, why wouldn't you go, hang on a minute, if everybody, like, let's just say, what's a pallet? What are they, 1,200 by 1,200? Something like that? Right. Let's say everybody had like a 1,200 by 1,200 stand that wrapped around the back of one of those big booths, and you had one truck in the middle that had everybody's product on it, so that you all only need one person, and everybody's, like, there's 10 places splitting $50,000, so you've got $5,000 each, and everything's displayed on one truck, and you're just there making sales.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a massive setup, you've got one 1,200 by 1,200 thing to drop off and take home.
Yeah.
It was like, I reckon that would be a way to get a shit ton of exposure.
Yep.
Everybody's collaborating with everybody. You've got a combined build there that has got everybody's gear on it, and you're all sharing the load of, you know, because most people in the industry, like, I don't work for MAXTRAX, but if someone came up and said, oh, you know, what's the difference between a Mark II and an Extreme? I'm still going to be able to tell them.
Yeah, right.
You know, and you guys have, in your industry, the same sort of thing. You guys have probably got crossover where you're going to be able to answer a question for somebody if the, I don't know, method, you know, aren't available because they're talking to somebody. They're going to go, oh, what's the go with these? Or, you know, fucking they're a sick wheel, man, but Clayton will be able to hook you up in a minute. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody could collaborate, and it's like not as much work, nowhere near as much money, and you're drawing more people in because you're now in the realm of a conversation that someone's there for something else.
Yeah, yeah. The big stores kind of do that. So if you look at, say, Opposite Lock, they get a massive, big, you know, display stand. And
Yeah.
they do all the setup. And then you'll have Airbag Man, Tough Dog Suspension,
Yeah.
and like a whole bunch of other little ones that just have almost like a 1,200 by 1,200.
Right.
Like what you're saying. And one rep standing there.
Yeah.
That's kind of your low effort entry into getting into the 4x4 show.
Right.
We had our own stand, and it was just it was too much work. Like,
Yeah.
trying to manage all that, it was way too much for us. We probably would have been better partnering with someone else.
Yeah.
And, you know, just having a small amount of space,
Yeah, right. That makes sense.
like what you mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I thought it was a great idea.
It is.
Someone's already doing it. Fuck
It is a
Oh,
good
well.
idea. Well, I guess they weren't all collaborating on one, you know, big
Yeah.
79 or something like that, like what you mentioned. So there's obviously room for improvement there.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, for what we did, it wasn't worth it. Plenty of people come through. I mean, come lunchtime, people can't move. Like
right.
they're just all shoulder to shoulder, and everyone's having a peek, and then, you know, wandering on. So it's not like they're not getting enough people through the doors.
Yeah.
But for us, it just didn't translate into enough sales to justify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the last one I went to was 2018. I think it was when I met Barney. That was the last
Yep.
time I actually was like, yeah, I'm going to spend it. Because there's not even the money. The tickets aren't like, entry's not that bad, but it's like, it's a fucking event.
Yeah.
And I'm not there as a person working it for
Yep.
4 days. Like,
Yep.
I was like, it's just draining
Yeah.
to be around that many people.
it is. Yeah.
You know, and fight through things and get to talk to somebody and whatnot else. I was just like, ugh, I'll research what I want to research online.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
yeah, you know, anyway. Well, okay, that's cool. So you're not doing the show. What did you film in America? Where is that? What was that about? That was just an install, or?
No, we did a segment on
Motorhead Garage.
Motorhead Garage.
Right. Okay.
So it's like a pay TV kind of show
Yeah.
that they've got that advertise a lot of automotive products.
Yep.
Over in America.
So that was you guys doing a trip over to basically
Well, we
access their audience.
yeah we tried to kill a few birds with one stone, and
Yeah.
we went over and met all the Texas manufacturing crew we got over there.
Yeah.
We went to Detroit to look at another company that we were going to get in to have them do some assembly for us.
Yep.
So either we export some parts from here, have some other parts made in Texas,
Yeah.
and then up to this other very professional company in the heart of automotive manufacturing in Detroit
Right.
put together the final piece of the puzzle for us and
Yeah.
packaged it all up. And it turns out they were as useless as tits on a bull.
Oh, true.
Most
This is how I thought
unprofessional
Yeah.
company I've come across in my life.
Wow.
Ridiculous. They couldn't have organised a route in a whorehouse.
I say bonk at a brothel, but yeah, that'll work. Yeah, right.
It was shocking. Like,
That's surprising.
quite a large company too, and they were automating a section of their processes with robots and that sort of thing out in the factory floor, and
Right.
all employees had tablets, clock on, clock off. You know, if you're going to go to the toilet, pause, come back.
Wow.
Yeah, everything was dollar costed out. You know,
Yeah.
for how
Like
long
a
things
micromanaged,
took. Yeah, very, very much so.
Yeah.
They appeared very professional and organised.
Yeah.
And that unravelled within like 5 minutes of us being there.
Yeah, well, technology's only as good as the idiot driving it, so.
Well, even the way we were received. So we'd invested quite a considerable amount of money. Rhys had invested quite a few days of time and effort.
Yeah.
We had pallets of stock, air freighted over there, so we could be there and show them this is how it all goes together.
Right.
This is how we want it assembled. This is how we want it packaged. Rhys had
Yeah.
organised local packaging to be made. We'd come all the way from Australia. We get there, or we're almost there, and they send an email. Can we put you off until tomorrow?
Right.
And we were in Detroit for how long?
Yeah, I think we were just there for that day. Like we'd planned it down to meet them on that day, and then we were heading down to Tennessee to film.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they send through an email. Can we put you off until tomorrow?
Right. With like any kind of explanation or?
The big boss or the owner wasn't in.
And then he ended up being there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, bring that motherfucker up. Tell him to get off his ass and come and say hello.
You have no fucking idea.
Wow.
So then, you know, the plan was they were going to accept manufactured components in from us and from the manufacturing company in Texas.
Yep.
And they were going to be the final step.
Yeah.
Rhys had put a ton of fucking effort and organising of logistics into this. Emails, we put together videos on how to. Oh, fucking.
Right.
The amount of work that he put in
Yeah.
was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And they give us a run through of their factory. We all sat down in the office. The big boss was there, the production manager was there, their general manager was there, and we all sat down. And the general manager looks at us and he goes, "Well, we just can't have cars fucking showing up here for warranties, mate."
Right.
And I just looked at him. I'm like, "What the fuck are you thinking? Like, we just want you to assemble stuff and put it in boxes."
Yeah.
And the way the meeting went from there just went from bad to worse. And I'm just thinking in my head, fucking, we've got $20,000-$30,000 worth of stock sitting here that you guys are supposed to be participating in assembly with us now.
Yeah.
And you're talking about cars showing up for warranties and just like
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Literally, like, what the fuck? And we were able to turn it around a little bit, and you know,
Well, you just turn around and go, well, why the fuck would they come here?
That's pretty much
Well-
what we said.
you know,
You don't
it's
go
like,
down to the post office and go, you know, your football went flat. Like,
we've come a long way. We've organised to be here. We were only here for one day. You've tried putting us off. Like,
yeah.
we're talking about a fair bit of work here if we can nut out all the logistics. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of ongoing work. You know,
Right.
what's the lifetime value of a customer?
Yeah.
And we were just treated like shit. And in my head, I'm just thinking, where can we send this stock to get it assembled elsewhere? So we put him in his place a little bit. We started putting the hard questions back on him.
Yeah.
Said to him, well, do you know what we do? Have you looked up us online? Have you seen what our customers say about us on YouTube?
Yeah.
Have you looked at the reviews that we've got?
Yeah.
And every question that I asked him, his answer was no.
Right.
So he backed off a little bit, and we turned our attention over to the production manager, and things went a lot better from there.
Okay.
But moving forward from that, they were just fucking useless.
Yeah, right.
Just
so did they get
useless.
that first lot out for you?
It took them like 9 months to do something that should have taken 2 or 3 days.
And then how much did they charge you?
So we know how long it takes to assemble these units.
Yeah.
We've got staff doing it every day of the week,
Yeah.
you know. And Rhys had given them times guides, videos of them actually being assembled. This
Yeah.
is what you got to do. And this is a projected time. Like, you know, when you work on a car and you do something, it should take, 2.3 to 2.5 hours.
Right.
Like a times guide.
Yeah.
Gave them all that sort of information. And they came back and they billed us like 8 hours of labour per unit.
Holy shit.
Like, 4 or 5 times what it should have taken.
Yeah.
And they went, here's your massive fucking bill.
Which was worth more than all the stock we had there. So at that point, it was kind of like, well, then you just keep it. And after a little bit of negotiation, they came right down to where it should have been, 2 hours-ish per labour, per unit of labour.
Wow.
So I don't know what the fuck they were smoking. Like, they were in Detroit and edibles are legal over there. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Best part of Detroit, actually.
That just sounds like a company that's too big for their boots and fucking didn't really want it. So they
Well,
were like, we'll make it
yeah,
use of it.
they weren't that big, but yeah, they
Okay.
probably really didn't want it after they saw exactly what was involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's definitely a little intricate putting them together. Like, is that one the last one that I did? I'd never built one. They've always been together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like opened the box and I was like, oh, what? Like, because
Well, hang on, wait. Let's back up. Let's define build first.
Well, assemble.
If you're screwing a couple of things and clipping some ball studs on,
Yeah.
is it really a build?
Well, no, but it's still the last one that I did was like in a box, ready to go. I cut a hole and fucking Sikaflex it and riveted it. It was done. And I was like, oh, what? Because my drama is I'm the same. I will look at something knowing that, well, in my thought process, knowing what this thing's going to take me to do, and then something happens, and you're like, oh, fuck, all right, okay, but then because you're juggling, because I might do 3 or 4 or 5 different jobs in a day,
Yeah.
But it's like if that first one, I'm like, yeah, okay, sweet, that'll be done by like 9, and I can do this, and then I've judged my day, and then at 12 o'clock I'm still doing something. I'm like, fuck, all right, okay, cool, that was a cool learning experience. What's next? And I also, I think that was definitely the first one that I'd put together like that.
Yeah, so if you paid enough attention, you would notice we've updated the linkage design.
Yeah.
So it's a more robust linkage design that we have.
Yeah.
With some better geometry for the opening of the lid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know that was the one that I mucked up first. Was I think I put the
Gas strut on first.
yeah.
Which forces the door open,
Yeah.
which pushes the gap too far
That's
apart
right.
to put the linkage arm on.
Yeah.
Rookie mistake.
I'll wear that.
Well, the reason we did
take
that, we had a consultant come in and basically go through everything we're doing in the business to help us streamline things. And he just went, well, you're spending way too much time assembling things. So then the next step for us was, well, how can we make this much easier to assemble? Because the way we were doing it required 2 people.
Yeah.
It required special tools.
Yep.
And it was extremely fiddly with
Yeah.
all the little tiny components that were in there. So that was a compromise that we moved to so that we didn't have to increase the price. Because basically he had all these structures laid out and he's like, you either need to charge more for this or you need to streamline the assembly process.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't want to charge more for it. I don't want to keep selling it for what we are.
Yeah.
So we need to change the assembly process.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how that change came about.
Yeah,
It
nice.
was- yeah.
No, that's look. It's again. I go back to it. It's a great unit. I don't think. I mean, I get that you were trying to keep it congruent price wise with what people had bought in the past, but I don't think I wouldn't call it built to a cost. I think it's a great unit, and I think it's well worth the money that you're charging for it. So,
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, I think you've done really well, and it's a good Australian success story too. It's like fuck. What more do you want? I would have got a fucking lump of 4x2 and a piano hinge. So, no, I wouldn't. But, It's like, I think it's designed really well. It's really functional, and you know, it's for people that are after an extra bit of space, it's awesome. I mean, the adapters, those seats, I think you should, you know, kicking goals.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sending Australian stuff overseas too. That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Exporting's fun.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Lesson learned with assemblers over there. Obviously, you got that sorted out.
Yeah, we did end up getting it sorted out. Once they agreed on the price, we just sent it to a third-party logistics company in Texas, actually, who we're still working with. They're really great.
Yeah.
And they shipped it all out for us. So.
Texas seems pretty cool. Like, and you don't really hear a lot of bad shit
Yeah.
out of
it is good.
Texas.
Yeah.
Because it's probably because their guns are so everywhere, nobody fucks up. Because you're likely to get shot. You know?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, we
Keeps
went
everyone
went
warm.
to a rodeo in Texas. That was
Yeah?
that was interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Another fun thing about Texas, speed cameras constitutionally illegal.
Fixed ones.
Any
Yeah.
speed camera
Yes.
other than a policeman holding the actual
The
radar,
radar
gun.
gun, yeah.
Like no private companies with hidden cars on the side of the road or
Yeah.
something like that, or behind a sign.
Yeah.
The policeman's got to get you with the gun,
Yeah.
the speed gun. Otherwise, it was deemed by the High Court of Texas or whatever that not constitutional.
Unconstitutional.
It has to be the police officer, him or herself, who does
That's
it.
awesome. There was something on Instagram or TikTok I saw only the last couple of weeks. There was a dude walking down the street in Australia. I'm pretty sure it was in Victoria, but it might not have been. But he was walking down the street doing a selfie video.
Yeah.
And I think there was 4. They were like Mitsubishi. What's the Mitsubishi? It looks like a kind of Outlander. One of them.
Yeah.
It's like the little SUV. And within the space of 40 seconds of this video, he's walking on the same side of the road. There's 4 speed cameras.
Oh, really?
All with the arse facing the
Yeah.
same direction.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, a gap of a car or two between them.
It's training day.
It fucking must have been.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
know what it was.
Yeah, the cameras aren't active.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that makes a bit more sense.
It's training day.
Yeah, but still, you're watching that just going, God, fair crack of the whip.
Yeah, they're bloody well hidden now, though. They're inside the car pointing backwards.
Yeah.
It used to be there on the front of the Commodore or something like that with a million antennas on it, and you could pick them a mile away.
Yeah.
But now you don't know until you've passed them.
No. I had, I got a fine the other day. It was bloody, was borrowing a car, cruising around up at Bribey, and I'm like, when I'm in someone else's car, like when I'm driving, I'm like, I don't, you know, use all the stuff, use all the, you know, glove box and center console and all that. And I just had my keys, my wallet, my phone sitting in my lap, and got a fucking fine through the mail, $1,200 because my phone was on my lap.
Oh, from one of those overhead cameras.
Yeah, I'm literally in, because you know it's only a little car. I'm in the photo with elbow on the door and steering wheel, and my other hand resting on the seat rest next to me.
Wow.
Looking forward, like I'm not even looking at the thing, and yeah, $1,200 fine
That's rough.
because it's in my lap.
Yeah.
No, that's illegal in Queensland. And I wrote an email to him, like went through that, you know, questioned the fine, whatever the thing was. And I'm like, I'm clearly not using it. I'm in a borrowed car. I don't have my phone holder. I don't have anything. The response was, in Queensland, it's this and this and this. Has to be, you know, put away or, you know, not on your lap or whatever it was. Eat a check.
$1,200 is a bit
That's
much.
a rort. Wow. That is an absolute gouge. But anyway, it is what it is. My fault. Fair enough. Lesson learned.
How
But
many
Jesus. 1.
Oh,
That's the stupid thing.
$1,200 and 1
1
point.
point. $1,200
Doesn't
bucks.
seem fair.
No, it's retarded. It's an absolute money grab for something that is, you know, borrowed car. Like it's not, you know, it's not registered in my name. It's like nothing. I'm clearly sitting back cruising, you know, armrest up there. And anyway, whatever. It is what it is. But, you know, live and learn.
Yeah.
So for you guys, everything's going well. You got some awesome products. I love the seats, and they are even better value than I thought they were going to be. That's $2,500. I thought they were going to be more than that. So
Yeah, we'll have to do a collaboration like Jay said before.
yeah, I'm
One of
keen.
your builds.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. And I appreciate you guys flying up. For everybody that hasn't been paying attention or can't see the screen, give us your socials so people can find you.
That's a good point. Manuel specifically told me to do this, so I should have memorised the handles beforehand, but I didn't.
Right, okay, that's cool.
But if you search Huracan Fabrication on Facebook, Instagram, I don't think we have a Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, you'll find us there.
There we go. What's that? Oh, that's YouTube, yeah. So
Yep, at Huracan Fabrication, yeah.
Yep.
Nothing tricky about that one.
No, that's good. And people, like, I mean, obviously the website, huracanfabrication.com.au.
Yeah, but if go.com, it'll point you forward as well. Look at that,
Yeah,
followed
sweet.
by Barney. He's popped up a few times today.
There he is. Oh, yeah, Shauno's on there too. Do you guys collaborate with much of the Action Boys or anyone else?
Early on, yeah, we got onto Shauno like way back in 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
Before that sort of 4-drive action was like it is now, or isn't it 4-drive 24/7 now?
Yeah. Yeah, it was still Action back then.
Yeah. But not recently. No,
Okay.
they've probably got a bit big for us.
Oh well. Look, I think it's awesome. So, you know, I'm still small enough.
Yeah.
You guys are shit tons bigger than me, so you guys would be the ones doing me the favour. But look, I appreciate it. 36,000 followers. There you go. That's Ripper. Have you found that with Facebook? Has that slowed down for you guys?
Slowed down years ago.
Yeah, I mean, the number
yeah.
of followers it has doesn't mean anything.
No.
It's each individual post basically stands on its own.
Yeah.
It's either pumped by the algorithm or it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that just there. Like, I never did much with the socials anyway because
Yeah.
most of my stuff's repeat and referral. But I was mad, Matty. But yeah, I don't know, the numbers just stopped. But
Yeah.
you're right, the plays are very per video. It's got nothing to do with the numbers that are on there anymore.
Yeah. Like that Prado meme we looked at before that was joking, that's got almost 1 million views on Meta, so
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram. And then the video next to it's got like 400 views. So you got more than 1 million one with 400. Like,
Yeah.
The account has nothing to do with that then. It's
Yeah.
just that was a better video for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at kind of trying to deep dive into the setup of that, like the right thumbnail, the right heading, the right this, the right that. But I'm like, you know, we drop a full episode on a Monday when everything goes to plan. We drop a full episode on a Monday, and we also do 5 shorts from that.
Yep.
The build series is going to start dropping on the Fridays, and that I think we're going to break that up into probably, you know, part 1, part 2, part 3. Just to keep the minutes shorter, because like it's the same thing with like Spotify for us is way bigger numbers than YouTube for the podcast.
Yeah, really?
In the shorts, like it seems like TikTok and Spotify like the shorts and the full episode, but Instagram and YouTube are a lot more workshop stuff. That's what that responds to.
Yeah, cool.
Except for Pauline. Like that one, yeah, she kind of went off everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird game, but I can't be fucked dealing with, you know, the thumbnails not lit in the right area and the words were the wrong color and fuck whatever.
Yeah, and it's always changing too. It's
Yeah.
not like you get it right and then you just stick with it. Like
No,
it's-
and everyone was like, you need to put this type of thing on here and this type of thing on here. And I went, you know what? I'm going to edit it once and it's going fucking everywhere.
yeah.
What will be found will be found. But then, you know, if you guys have got someone that's, you know, a little bit more deep dive into that and that's kind of their role, then yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And I get people that do it because it is important, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, I've only got this. There's only so much room up there to juggle shit. So
Yeah, it's a full-time job in its own,
Yeah.
managing that. It's not something that you can keep on top of just by having a look every now and then.
no, not at the level to if you want to engage in all of that algorithm shit.
Yeah.
You know, the way I do it's like, okay, you know, it's an hour or so a day and fine. But yeah, more than that, I'm like, no, I've got shit to do. So anyway. All right, gentlemen. Well, Rhys,
Yes,
I remembered.
very good.
Jason, thank you guys very much for making the trip up. I really appreciate it. Thanks for
you for
having
having
me.
us.
Yeah,
And thanks for having us, yeah.
My pleasure. If we make our way down there at some point, it'd be cool to come down and check it all out.
100%.
Please
And,
do.
yeah, I haven't been to Melbourne. Last time we were in Melbourne was when we did that fucking mystery flight. Well, 15. Yeah, I think that's the last time I was in Melbourne.
10 years
15.
ago.
Yeah. Sydney a couple of times, but yeah, I haven't gone down to Melbourne for a bit, so I'm sure it's changed a lot. But when you're in the Navy, yeah. Yeah, no, that was the last time I was on there.
Oh, yeah, Ed Service.
We have good coffee.
Yep.
Yes. I have been a coffee fan for many years, so that would be a nice spot. But again, thank you very much for coming down. I appreciate you sharing the arvo. If anybody needs anything, huracanfabrication.com.au. And yeah, next time we see you, it might be us coming down your way.
Good stuff.
Beauty.
Thanks
Thanks
man.
guys.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.